It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Welcome back to Sci-Fi and Friends podcast, episode number 77. Double sevens, that's good. First episode of 2023. We're happy to have you. Hope you had a fantastic new year. Excited to be back in the studio. I took a little break at the end of the year, and it's good to be back. And looking forward to 2023. We'll be implementing some new things on the show, riverside.fm, for some remote podcasts, so I can bring on some more guests remotely, which will be fun because I have a lot of friends across the world, as we all do in the digital age. Hopefully, maybe upgrading the studio. We'll see. Maybe some merchandise. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe new cameras. Maybe we start with the unsexy stuff. New cameras in 4K would be helpful. But very excited about 2023. Feel like we're getting away from COVID and all that nonsense and getting to some sort of, normal and hitting some sort of stride. So looking forward to it. And we're glad you're here. Any updates? I will say that Joplin, Missouri just started a Pokemon League that I'm involved with. Cody Wilson started it. They meet every Wednesday at the clubhouse just off Main Street by the Griffith Building, 5:30 to 7 p.m. Come in there. Everyone that attends gets a free booster pack. If you trade, you get a booster pack. And if you battle, you get a booster pack. So you can get 3 packs per night. It's a lot of fun. If you like Pokemon, if you love Pokemon, it's cool to be around like-minded people, and it's fun to battle and trade and yay. So there's that's going on. Of course, jiu-jitsu. Highly recommend if you're looking for a new hobby or a new goal for 2023, come roll some jiu-jitsu. Start training some martial arts. Come train some martial arts. There is Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, Gracie Humaita, which is 2 doors down from the studio, formerly known as Mat Club. First week is free. Come in. Dave Lopez, Jason Shiloh are your black belts. Awesome classes, awesome people. Great jiu-jitsu, great people. Good jiu-jitsu, great people. Is that what it is? Is that their slogan? It's up on the wall. I usually see it as I'm getting choked to sleep. But come roll with us. Come on out. First week is free. After that, you can learn about the do's and whatnot. Also in Pittsburgh, Arise Jiu-Jitsu. I roll up there quite a bit too with Andrew Brown. And love those guys. They have a different vibe up there, different energy. Love rolling up there. So if you're closer to Pittsburgh, go check out Arise Jiu-Jitsu with Andrew Brown. Also, first week is free. Go take some trial lessons and get involved. If you're more want to do something more traditional martial arts, there is Taekwondo, which my good friend Tommy Vigil teaches that out of the Crossland Community Building, which is a gym facility in Columbus, Kansas. I've trained with Tommy several times, and it's a lot of fun. It's difficult. You will become much more flexible than you are now, and I love the traditional vibe of the traditional martial arts. Very disciplined, very respectful, and you can do it with your kids if you have kids. He has a lot of good kids classes there. So also first week is free if you want to hang out with Tommy Vigil and train some Taekwondo. I think that's about all I can think of right now for 2023. Yeah. So I hope you had a great new year. Let's get to it. First podcast of 2023. My favorite person on earth, the modern tramp. Please welcome Casye Seifert.
Thank you. Thank you. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to the listeners. We are at the 10th, I think. Yeah, the 10th. So 10 days ago, we were all celebrating the potential that this year has to offer. And now we are living it. So that's good.
Adam had
I hope.
a good prompt. Yeah, right. Adam had a good prompt one time on one of his lectures, one of his sermons. And he's like, what's the cutoff date to say something? So like Happy New Year, like how long can you say Happy New Year before it doesn't make sense anymore? Because I've been saying it, and I just said it now, it's the 10th. And I would probably say it till about the 15th.
I was going to say, probably 2 weeks.
Yeah. hope you had a good New Year. Looking forward to the new year. But then after the 15th or the 20th of January, you're in the new year. You're in it. It's like a different shift in mindset to where we're not starting out. We're a little bit down the trail of this year. It's an interesting concept, you know.
Well, you say Happy New Year, but we don't say like goodbye to the old year.
Right.
You know, it's always going forward to the new year.
Right.
So I don't know. I think there should be a time after Christmas. Give Christmas its proper respect, which honestly, it's overly respected if you ask me, but that's fine.
Right.
But give it its proper respect. Because Christmas shits on Thanksgiving, but that's a whole different conversation. But
yeah.
And then have like a goodbye party, a farewell party for the end of the year, because the New Year's parties are for the new year.
Well, the first part of New Year's parties, like I consider that the goodbye party.
I don't think it gets proper recognition.
It doesn't get the proper recognition.
You might do that, but
I didn't think of it until it was either 2020 or 2021 when I stayed home by myself for the first time, and I was on the couch, I was listening to Chill Step or something, and I realized, I don't know, I had like 20 minutes until the new year, and I realized, oh, here's the shift. You know, I'm shifting from old year to the new year, and I felt that energy, and then when it hit midnight, I really, really felt the shift. And so, yeah, maybe we can implement that going forward on our New Year's parties to where it's, 8 o'clock to 11:30 is goodbye year. Which, remember how you had like Sacrifice Sunday?
Oh yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, but something like
Saturday.
That where you would have
this year.
Where you would have things to do to celebrate the old year, maybe let something go. You remember there's a place on Earth somewhere, I don't know, or I think it's on Earth, maybe it's in a movie, like at the end of the year, the village comes together and everybody fights and gets their crap out of the way. So it's like, if you have a beef with me, we'll just fight, we'll get it out of our system, and then the new year will be
it's gone.
It's gone. We can't talk about it anymore.
I don't hate it. I made a really tough phone call sometime in December.
Really?
That was apologizing. I was just like, hey, it's just what happened years ago or whatever. And that was really nice. And then the recipient, you really appreciate that phone call.
Wow.
It sent me a text later on, like, I just want you to know how much that meant to me that you made a phone call. I was just like, it's worth it. It's tough. I think I used like the new year as almost an excuse of like,
it's a good time.
It's like, use this. You want a fresh start, all the cliches of the new
year. New year, new me.
Right. All the cliches. It's like, I kind of just took that momentum and was like, please don't answer. Please don't answer. Hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
But, it felt good to do that. So maybe, partially, it's almost like all of December, you should be thinking of that.
Reflecting on.
Yeah. Problem is January gets away from you so fast. Like,
right.
I don't think it's like a moment switch. That would be ideal. All right, January 1st, now it's on. It's like, it's kind of a slow switch. So it's hard to be like ready for January. But
Dave, on his podcast a long time ago, he was speaking on jiu-jitsu, but he was saying that the opportunity comes in the transition. And then he was like, well, of course, in life as well. I'm like, okay. So when I think about New Year's, it's like you said, it's not just a moment. It's like a gradual increase in energy. So you're already in the holidays. So maybe like middle December, you start to feel the holiday itch. Like everybody's wound down. No one's getting any work done. Kids at school are watching movies and everything. You're like 3 days away from being on holiday. And then the energy just keeps increasing. And then you have Christmas. So that's like a whoom, big jump. And then you get closer and closer to the new year. And then like at the peak, that to me, the peak would be midnight New Year is like that peak energy of transformation. If you catch that, which is why I've enjoyed spending it by myself, because I can sit there and channel all that energy. I have my journal and music and my substances and everything. I'm ready to go. And I don't know, it's like you can channel that energy to change or to redirect or to give thanks. That's one thing I did this year, is just being thankful of like the opportunities that I had, more thankful just internally, not telling people, but just, man, thankfully that happened, or accepting things like the pec tear, like, man, I can't say I'm thankful for it, but also, the stoic in me is like, thank you for the lesson, the hard lessons or whatever. But yeah, I feel like it's a gradual increase of energy and then a gradual decline into January and beyond.
Well, I'd almost say Stoicism is more of like indifference.
Yeah.
Whether it happened or not makes no difference. Like I guess
so. Yeah.
Just walk the path, and it's like, I don't know. I don't equate Stoicism with gratefulness. It's like, what's that? I don't know if it's a quote or something, but it's like the indifferent man is like the happiest because he's indifferent because it's, oh, I didn't get the steak, I wanted the salmon or whatever. Right. I got the salmon instead of the steak and I wanted the steak. It's like, if you're indifferent, it doesn't matter and you can still have a good time, whether you do that or not.
Remember, who's the guy that has all the freaking Instagram models?
Dan Bilzerian.
Remember when Dan Bilzerian was on Joe Rogan and he told the story of the farmer?
Oh.
He's like, his son gets his leg broken and everyone's like, that's terrible. Mm-hmm. And he's like, well, maybe. And then the next day the soldiers come and they're like, everybody come with us. But he couldn't take their son. And everyone's like, that's good, huh? He's like, well, maybe. And it just kind of keeps going on.
Right.
And he stays within maybe a little bit of indifferent to where you might take the stance of, I don't know if this is good or bad. It just happened.
Right.
And I'm just going to have to
it's
deal with it.
Just reality.
Yeah. You don't assign emotion or meaning to it. Like, this is great. I won the lottery. You would think it would be great, but how many lottery stories have you heard where they're broken the next year or they kill themselves because they took too many drugs or whatever, family members that were jealous. So yeah, I could see that. I guess maybe I have the wrong definition of Stoicism, but whatever the definition, whatever thought philosophy is to where, you're looking for the good in things, even the deepest and dark, like something good there, like the peck tear, like there's something good, even though it's fucking terrible.
Yeah. I look at Stoicism as like the warrior in the desert that's like, kneeling with his spear or whatever. And then whether it's raining, whether it's snowing, whether it's sunny and bright, like, just remaining in that pose of, whatever.
Good.
Yeah. Good even assigns like it's a positive. It's a benefit or whatever.
That's what I like. I try to do that kind of stuff where, see, this is hard. Your pector, good. that one is freaking hard, dude. Yeah. But the other ones, like, oh, we didn't, I didn't get the contract for the video gig. Good. More time to make TikToks or whatever. I like that kind of mentality.
It's good to have, no doubt. I think it would be good to have. I suppose there's a counter argument for everything.
Well, it's when you get into like the really deep stuff, like pec tear. That's unfortunate about stage 4 cancer. Good, like whoa, that's a different,
Maybe not.
Though I have heard tons of people, countless people say that cancer was the best thing that ever happened to them. From books, and I've never met anyone, but from books and stuff, a lot of people say that. But it seems like a lot of the times in that situation, the cancer was a catalyst to get them through something, or to get them to the next level, or to get them to realize something. Oh, I should have forgiven this person years ago, which arguably might be the source of the cancer. You might have brought this on. It goes back to Final Fantasy X with sin, like. You people brought sin. It's not the sin came out of nowhere. It's like it's because of what you guys did that brought sin.
As that art imitates reality.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't know. I think I have found benefit in remaining indifferent to as much as I can. Because I don't know. Then it's like you're not hunting for the good in it. It's just that is what it is, and we keep moving.
Does that prevent you from experiencing stuff though? Like, does that keep you from bonding with people because you're just indifferent to them, or?
No. I think who I am in general is just kind of like talking about the ATEC goodbyes. Yeah. Of like just being, I think I can connect with people pretty well. And I think honestly, I think that is the indifference of, I don't give a shit if you're an asshole. Like, I'm just going to be me. Yeah. And most people, I don't know about most, but like a pretty good portion of the people I meet have an inherent attraction that sometimes they'll tell me about, it's just like, I don't know why, I just, like hanging out with you, whatever it is, as simple as that is though, of that's me being indifferent to who you are and I'm going to treat you how I treat people versus like, you've been really good to me, so in return,
I see.
I'm going to be really good to you.
Yeah.
Or you've been really shitty to me. Well, I'm still going to love you, and I'm still just going to treat you as who I treat people or how I treat people.
It keeps the control or the decision with you, right? Because rather than you going, my actions are based off your actions, it's my actions are based off my actions no matter what you do.
Yeah.
To a point, I guess. Like if you attack me, I'm gonna have
right.
I'm gonna have to retaliate. But in normal day-to-day interaction, it is, if you're an asshole, I'm still going to remain, I guess that's kind of stoic, I'm still going to remain Casey. And I'm going to react in this way,
right?
Because I've decided to do that.
It's kind of like the asshole. He's going to beat his head against the wall. Well, I'm the wall. It's like, you can beat your head on me as much as you want, but I'm still going to be a wall,
right?
Kind of mentality,
right?
Is kind of how it boils down to. But then there's times like recently, I don't want to get too specific just in case it gets back around, but it's like I was asked to help, and I like to help. Mm-hmm. Like I want to help as much as I can, as much that like you're not going to empty my gas tank to fill yours. Yeah. It's like, but I will use my gas tank metaphorically, not actual gas, but like my metaphorical gas tank. I will spend gas to help you and not ask for a fill up or anything, Yeah. But it's like I was asked to help, and then it was just like, you are the people that I don't have any desire to like grow with, for you to be a part of my life. So as much as I like that innate desire or whatever to help is there, and I want to say yes, I don't want to invest in you. I don't want you to be like, I still wish well for you and all that stuff, but I just want you to do well over there and not like, So there are those people that I suppose I don't know how that would relate to indifference of being. But I know there is those people of just like, hey man, I wish you well, and like go be happy and do your life. But I don't, I'm not going to invest my life into yours.
Well, sometimes you're just incompatible. They're cool people. I know people that are very cool, kind, generous, smart, fun. We're incompatible. We get together and it's just, you're the wrong piece, I'm the wrong piece. There is nothing. It's not that I don't like you. It's just, what music do you listen to? Okay, I don't listen to that music. There's one missed thing, you know. What's your top 5 subjects that you're gonna converse? What are you gonna bring up? Okay, those are none of mine. We miss each other there, and it just goes down the list. And it's like, okay, we've missed too many things to where, just like you said, I don't want to invest in you. Like I don't want to get together or go on a trip somewhere and be locked in a hotel with you, because besides being alive, we just don't share much in common. Like I'll chat with you and say, how you doing? But I want to be with someone that has some sort of reflective qualities of my own, that looks at the world in a, doesn't have to be the exact way, but just a similar way, to where we're matching up in conversation. Oh, I'm thinking of Alex Hill, like
Dr.
Hill. Still waiting on my Viagra script. I want the XL super dosed.
You having problems?
I need it. I need it. But Dr. Hill and I, and you as well, there's a lot of commonalities, a lot of similar thinking, a lot of similar interests, and not everything. I'm not really a musician. I don't really care for indie music so much, but he does. But it's enough things match up that I care about that because he cares about that. Yeah. And so I totally get that sometimes it's just incompatible.
Well, and a lot can come from a small conversation of like, somebody brings something up. I consider it almost like civilized versus uncivilized. Like, let's talk about civilized topics, like we were talking about a little before, like Damar Hamlin. Like, it's actually a pretty good subject to talk about. Right. But it's like very
mainstream.
Very
politically correct.
No, well, I was going to say something like that. Like just it's like it's very basic. It's almost like talking about the weather.
It is.
Yeah,
it's like a current topic.
To where it's like if that's the subjects that you bring up, it's
they're
like
safe.
It's like a hot girl getting compliments. It's just like there's nothing there.
Skinny guy with abs.
There's nothing there. To where a guy like Alex, a guy like Dr. Hill, is like, we're having a basic conversation, and then all of a sudden something comes out of left field of like, what was that?
Can I tell you, in left field,
Sure.
Alex, I still think about this all the time. I don't even remember. Maybe he was at the house or something, or maybe we were outside downstream. It's a cold night, not that cold, but cold. And I don't know what we were talking about, but then just randomly he goes, if you were totally naked and paralyzed and just laying over there in the ditch, like how long do you think it would take for you to freeze to death? I said, I wouldn't, in total denial. And he was like, he kind of like missed the answer. He's like, I would probably guess 3 hours, 4 hours. I'm like, okay. Then as I'm driving home, I'm like, you're an idiot. You would be dead.
Paralyzed? I mean, that's the wrench in the situation.
You can't. You're just like laying there freezing. And so there's been many times. I mean, this last cold spell, I walked outside. I'm like, how long would it take for me to die? So I've thought about that question many times. Yeah. And it's terrifying. But yeah, that's one of those left field, like out of nowhere. We were talking about Red Oak and the crazy night that we had. Where did that come from?
Yeah, and I think you got to recognize the leeches. Not that they mean to be leeches. Like a leech is just a leech kind of thing. Right. You know, to where it's like, if I invest in you, then I can't even ask for a return on investment somewhere down the line of like, I got you this time, no problem. You know, like we're still even, we're still good, but there might come a time where I need. And if that option isn't there, then it makes it really, really difficult to be like altruistic without the return, which that's not altruism. You know, it's just like, or I guess that is altruism, but it's not reciprocal altruism.
Oh, it's one directional.
Well, I think altruism itself is
directional.
Is one directional, meaning at a cost to me, I will help you. Reciprocal altruism is I will do the same the other way. Right. So if that's not there, it's really tough. And I think I've always kind of been like that. It's like when I meet somebody, I immediately am like, how can you serve me in a sense of like, what do you have to offer me personally? Right. Like what is literally time? What am I going to get with time with you? And then the second thought is the reverse of how can I help you to help me? Yeah. You know, because I don't mind helping you for a small, if, you know, you can edit and I can film or whatever. It's like, well, that's a pretty good team versus like, well, I can film and edit and this, and you know, you have no experience in any of it or something. And it's like, that makes it a lot tougher. Yeah. So then there's just the people, it's like, I can never ask anything of you in return because you have nothing to offer me. Yeah. So it's really hard for me to invest into that. But then like some guys, this isn't Corey Ball, but as an example of this shrimp parade crew that we're talking about, it's like Corey provides enough entertainment and just existing that it's like I don't even need to ask anything of you. Like just exist around me and I will do whatever I have to do to like keep you close. So there are people like that to where it's like you're just that interesting, you're just that, you know, you bring something out of me that
100%
I can't get by myself or something to where like stick around, you're in the family, there's nothing you have to do besides just be, which is probably like the best spot to be in, honestly, is like there's nothing specific, it's just you. You know, that's a good place to be if you want to be in a circle and that's all they ask of you. And that is something I tell Kelsey all the time, like there's enough humans in the world where you don't have to settle for somebody. You don't have to be like, you know, you live closest to us, or you're the closest in age or whatever, some arbitrary connection that you have where it's like, who do you love? Like who brings the best out of you? If they bring the best, I'm thinking of Nick Bonner, like every time I'm around that guy, he's bringing the best out of me, whether he's calming me down, maybe I'm stressed or something, he's just making a dick joke or something and it makes me laugh, or he says something off the cuff, you know, like, how's your walk with the Lord or something? Like, damn it. Okay, now I gotta open the door, but maybe that was the door that needed to open. He just brings that energy to where Tim Queedams is the same way. You know, he's very like, well, aren't you doing this? What if you did this? A lot of times it's doors I do not want to open, but it's not in a bad way. It's like I said, bringing the best out of me and encouraging me. And I don't know, I just think there's not enough time in life to waste on non-transactional people. You know, I don't like to say it like that because I love people, or I try to love them. But if you find a person like Corey Ball, which I saw at Target the other day when I was looking at Pokemon cards, he came up and said hi, and we chatted for a little bit. And the first thing he brought up, podcast, baby. I want to do the podcast, which we'll get you on, buddy. Don't worry. I'd love to do Shrimp Parade, but Dr. Hill said that he can't get crazy, which I think we could work around that. Maybe.
I'm not sure. Like just cut the camera every time he
well, it depends. It depends on, Because even having his name associated with it, maybe he just needs an alias or something.
Everett.
Have you seen it? Yeah, maybe. Have you seen Magnus Carlsen's chess.com name?
No.
Dr. Drunkenstein. So like just something stupid like
Right,
that, you know,
right.
just to have like, this is my podcast name. Shit, put on a mask for all we care. You
Yeah,
know, it's
right.
like, or paint your face or something. Put him in whiteface. See how that looks. Just be a whole new person.
Oh my god.
It'll be like that Eddie Murphy skit. Did you ever see that?
Oh, I think so.
Old SNL skit.
Where he did whiteface?
Yeah, he did whiteface.
What did he say?
Well, he's like, I wanted to see how the whites were living or whatever. So he gets on he goes in for a bank loan, and the bank
Oh
manager's
my
like,
God.
hello, Mr. White. He's like, something like he filled out an application, and the bank manager's like, you don't need that. How much money do you need?
Oh my
How much
God.
money? He's like so confused on.
That is hilarious.
Dude, this is one of the greatest SNL skits in all of history.
Oh, look at
That's him. That's Eddie Murphy.
I need to turn on the screen recording real quick.
He gets on a bus, and like a black guy gets off the bus, and then I think it was the bus driver or something, like, all right, all the black people are off the bus, and then like there's like stewardess like serving drinks and stuff. And he's sitting there like just observing. Oh my god, it's so good. That was on the best of DVD. Remember that?
Yeah.
It's like Chris Farley, Will Ferrell, Eddie Murphy. This was on Eddie Murphy's. It is absolute gold.
Which the thing I loved the SNL best of is the only thing is that like Chris Farley, I wanted it all.
I want every
care.
scene he's ever been in.
If he walked in 1 second to one skit, I wanted
If
that
he was a
scene.
background actor, I want to see it.
Same, dude. Because they just had like the best of
Right.
of Chris. But dude, okay, there we go.
I'd take anything of Chris.
Okay.
We gonna watch this?
Yeah.
Looks like either one.
This one's actually Saturday Night Live.
6.2 million. That's probably the one.
Yeah, there's probably a gold mine of
I mean,
TikToks to pull.
this is
from
like-
these.
You know, a lot of people talk about racial prejudice.
What year was this? 90s?
Surely. It was uploaded 9 years ago. Scene was in 1984.
84.
Season 10, 1984.
That's what sometimes I'm flabbergasted. Like, what's this race, this and that? And it's like,
Right.
it's been around
Right.
way longer than
80s?
than what I can imagine.
Was
I
that
mean,
40, 50 years ago?
talking, before that, I mean, I guess back to like slavery and like
Right.
natural born prejudice
Right.
type of stuff.
Or all of human nature, all of human history?
Now that is tough to argue all of human history, and that's
Well-
probably nothing I want to get into. But
All of human history that continents have been able to crisscross, I guess, because for the most part, Europe was white, Africa was black.
it's like we watch TV as a kid and not knowing that there's prejudice happening on screen.
Right.
That I think that's, what do they call that? What do they call that? Inherent racism, systemic racism,
Right.
To where it's like, it's nothing you did, you just grew up in the system, and now
right.
you have inherent qualities that you can't control.
It's
It's like
very difficult to control.
It's like it's like grandpa at the restaurant with a waiter.
Oh god.
Not even a black
Right.
or white waiter,
Right.
just a waiter in
Right.
general.
Right.
Of like, this is how he sees nothing wrong with it.
Right.
Whenever it's like, dude, why are you being an asshole to this person? You're not even looking at him in the eyes.
Right. Literally,
You know?
or
Here's Mr. White. I'm trying to walk like a
How he
white guy.
walks.
Wearing a suit.
This is very Key and Peele to me. They would do a skit like this. And he walks up to the cash register.
What are you doing?
I'm buying this newspaper.
That's all right. There's nobody around. Go ahead, take it. Take it. Go ahead. Take it. Yeah, take it. Take it.
Thank you.
Slowly I began to realize that when white people are alone, they give things to each other for free.
He's getting on a bus, walking on a bus. It's actually a pretty good green
There was
screen.
only one other black man on the bus. He got off on 45th Street.
The driver looks around to check. Turns up. Turns up the
Everybody
music.
starts partying.
Takes off their jacket.
Got a tray of drinks for everybody.
Wow, 80s. She's supposed to be attractive?
I mean, I guess.
Like
just,
I mean, she is. Is the hair.
sometimes I like the poofy hair.
$1,000, but you have no collateral. You have no credit. You don't even have any ID. Is that correct? That's right. Mr. White, I'm sorry. This is not a charity. This is a business. Harry, why don't you take your break now? I'll take care of Mr. White.
Black banker
Right. Denied him.
getting relieved.
Thanks, folks.
Oh, thanks. I'll take a break.
That was a close one.
Oh, my God.
We don't have to bother with these. Mr. White, huh?
What a silly Negro.
Just take what you want. Pay us back any time or don't. We don't care.
He starts taking it.
Tell me, do you know of any other banks like this in this area?
So what did I learn?
Oh, my God. He's a comical genius.
One of just the absolute greatest skit of all time. Like, just in general. SNL, whatever. So good. All his buddies.
Everybody's doing it. That's great. Yeah, back in the day when Saturday Night Live was like innovative.
Innovative, but also like, I don't
Edgy.
know. He's not getting canceled for that. In
No.
'84,
No.
cancel wasn't around. You couldn't
No.
get canceled.
Right.
Or I don't know. It's like cancel
You would
culture
have
was,
to you have to kill somebody.
You'd have to like go to jail or
Right.
something, you know, like
Out of the
something
public
jail
eye.
worthy.
Right.
Of like he's in prison for the next 10 years. Yeah, we're probably not going to pay attention to him anymore.
But they didn't like outright cancel you. They just forgot about you.
Is for God or like I mean 84. What are you going to do? Write letters? You're going to write letters
Right.
to SNL and say
Oh,
that was
also-
extremely offensive.
Right. When Ozzy Osbourne bit the head off of a bat, you know, he should be. That's PETA or whatever, right? PETA, pet protection or whatever.
Yeah.
Animal protection. Like he can't do that. It was almost a legend. You know, that particular one was almost like a legend. Like, did he? Did he not?
Yeah.
And if he didn't, well, it stuck around. Like he bit the guy, like Marilyn Manson taking out the bottom of his ribs
Yeah.
to suck his own dick. I don't know if he did that, but it went around school.
Yeah, made for a story.
Made for a story. Yeah, influenced his reputation.
Yeah, I get it's the confirmation bias of like, man, I feel this way, and then you look and 100 other comments feel the same way. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I'll be 101, you know, comments
yeah.
like, I know I better, you know, join the cause or whatever, and then enough do that investors pull out, and then boom,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
next thing you know, and now of course it's gotten out of hand to where it's like back then you could be edgy, you
Right.
could put on. I think you could do a whiteface thing today because it's, you know, it's whatever the one way
Well,
racism or
White
whatever.
Chicks. White Chicks was a whole movie about.
But that was in 05 or whatever,
Yeah.
like different time back then.
That's wild.
So it's
Changed that
it's
much.
tough. They talk about Tropic Thunder, how you couldn't do Tropic Thunder now,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
literally was blackface, which I don't know. I don't even know how they got by with it back in the day.
Right.
Besides, it was meta in the sense of a movie within a movie, an actor
Right.
within an actor, within
Right.
an actor acting in a fake movie or whatever.
Right.
'Cause to where it's like even the TMZ report or whatever, the girl's like controversial skin
Right,
pigmentation alteration.
Yeah.
So even then it was like, oh,
Right.
it's controversial in this
In the
universe.
movie, right.
Yeah, in this movie universe that is the movie being made. It's like
Right.
weird.
Yeah.
But now if, you know, they made it today, would cancel culture erupt just on the sight of a white man playing black?
Right.
That the whole point is that it was controversial in the universe of
Right.
this fake movie making.
Well, I think
Too much.
I think you just we're meta on the meta.
It's like a paradox almost.
You're getting lost in the multiverse. But I think you just brought up a great point, which is cancel culture in general like prevents you from exploring an idea, which is what you just described. It's inside that universe, they are controversial. So like, let's explore the controversy from this safe distance outside of this universe, which is like a play on a play of a movie, play on a movie making or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so you have that cancel culture, and it's like you can't even explore that concept, which I don't know. It's a tricky situation. I think Tropic Thunder might be a perfect movie. I watched it and it's like, this is so tight. Every scene is perfect. Yeah. Every character has an arc. It was unbelievable and super fun watching it with Kelsey for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I think cancel culture is changing. I think culture is changing, obviously. It's always changing.
Well, there's a cancel to the cancel culture now, which I count as a win.
Absolutely. 100%.
It's almost like I mean, comedians are, I think, the number one under fire.
Yeah.
To where it's like, I thought you were supposed to be funny. And it's like, sometimes you say something that isn't that funny.
Right.
Right. Like, we're trying to be. It could have been funny, maybe to a different audience.
You don't know until you say it.
Right.
A lot of times, which is why they have like those practice stand-ups where they go randomly to a bar and just, I mean, that would be so hard to do.
Like, how do you, and then try judging a comedian for, getting up, not with a band, not with a bunch of other people, like completely alone.
Right.
And you have to captivate an audience by talking. Like, good luck.
With
even here, it's like, at least our audience, they can't stop us. They can't say, hey, that was offensive or whatever. It's like they can message us 10 days from now when it's posted or whatever,
close the tab or whatever.
Or turn it off. Like, that's the most logical thing. Like, you're either going to get your panties in a wad and like go through effort to make yourself more upset, to make sure your point is known to this person who offended you, however so.
Yeah.
Or you can close the tab.
Right.
And turn on just Looney Tunes or whatever the hell. Whatever doesn't make you offended.
That's what would be Meghan Markle's new podcast or whatever.
I mean,
Archetypes, which was, I don't know how it was the number one in the United States.
It's
rigged. Fucking rigged is what it is.
I don't know. This ain't the NFL we're talking about here, okay? That's
You don't think it's rigged, do you? Do you think it's rigged on the sense of, I think a Radio Lab podcast one time talked about the WWE and how before it was always it's fake until it's one day where there was some big stunt and it went horribly wrong and someone got really, really hurt. But the skit kept going. And so after that point, everyone's like, we don't know anymore. Because that was real. And everything before that was supposedly scripted. But because that there's this dichotomy, is that the right word? Dynamic, maybe, between the scripted and the real. Like, it's scripted, but not all the time. So you can't decide. You're always like, I wonder which one it is. Did John Cena really blow out his ACL? Mean to blow out his ACL on this big thing? I almost kind of think that's the NFL. It's like they kind of let things go. They let games be games until the one game comes up, and then they're like, call holding, do something to maybe not throw the game, but like push the momentum this way.
I think there's an agenda.
It feels like that.
I think there's an agenda, but it's hard to say, you got two teams and one team's definitely going to win.
Right.
Because, like, I don't know. Yeah, you could talk about NDAs with the players, but then there's retired players who got nothing to lose, and stuff like that, to where it's like, I think in today's world, somebody would have slipped by now. Somebody would have gone on a podcast, spilled it all, unless they're afraid of dying.
He's got CTE.
Unless they're afraid of actually dying of, like, random, and then the episode got lost, and then we don't know. And, I don't know if that's a fear. I don't know what somebody would have to lose that knows the truth and
could explain.
But still, a holding call, yes, might determine the game. But what if they score on the next play?
Right.
It's like they could still overcome the odds, even if the odds are stacked against them. Mm-hmm. So to say it's rigged, it's really, really tough.
It's
I look at this season to where it's like bad teams beat good teams, and like weird. Why is every single game a nail biter? You know,
right.
What's up with that?
Right.
What's going on? There's no blowouts. Look at the 2012 Super Bowl with the Ravens.
Yeah,
Like,
I saw that.
the
other
blackout
day.
bowl. We're blowing out the 49ers at the most televised. Surely they don't want to keep as many eyes on the screen as possible.
Right.
Like,
Well,
and
all the advertisers of the second half, you know.
yeah, oh, they still got people to, you know, our commercials in the third quarter or whatever.
Right.
Ray Lewis to this day still says like, "You're telling me," you know, just does the whole thing of like, okay, yeah, okay,
Right.
And luckily, whatever, we won.
Yeah.
You know, Baltimore won, which is our team, obviously, but like, I would have been not a happy camper.
Oh, it would have lasted with you forever.
Yeah,
us.
forever.
Been like asterisk next
Asterisk,
to that.
yeah.
We were in the lead. We ran back the opening kickoff of the second quarter.
Yeah.
Jacoby Jones, all that, and then suddenly, and I remember you had a Bane mask and you were going to wear it to the game because you were Bane that Halloween, and it would have been like so perfect because that's like a Bane move.
Walk out there, tackled by security in 2 seconds.
Yeah, you would have been fucking famous.
Maybe, yeah, infamous.
Yeah, I saw that. I think it was a TikTok that broke that down the other day. I commented, that was me. I was going to the bathroom and I tripped over a cord. Sorry, guys.
I mean, I know stuff happens, but it's just hard to imagine. Like, even if they went off for 5 minutes and then came back on, like, that's one thing. But I think it was over a half hour. It was like 36 minutes. 32.
It was long.
It was over 30 minutes. That, like, players are cold now. You know, I remember, like, players on the side, like, getting re-warmed up and everything. And just, like, that's not a coincidence. Like, I don't know. And then so many conspiracies have been proven true. So who's the conspiracy theorist anymore?
Right.
You know, I think the conspiracy theorists are the ones who believe in government. You know, that believe that government is watching out for us.
Right.
That's the conspiracy.
Right. It's
The
been totally
truth-
flipped.
Yeah, the truth is like now everything, which is kind of leads me to one of the things I wanted to talk to you about of what's going on with these vaccination instantaneous deaths.
My Twitter feed is full of them.
What the hell?
Full of them. People just passing out.
But then it's like passing out or dying.
Yeah. I mean, falling over dead.
DeMar, and then which I assume he's vaccinated. You don't have to be in the NFL, but remember
It was pretty hard not
it
to
was
be.
very, very hard. And Aaron Rodgers talked a lot about that on Pat McAfee show of he's like, I do everything they tell me. I'm not going to get vaxxed. I was in line to get, or maybe that was Rogan, like in line to get vaxxed.
Yeah.
And then they ran out or something. And he was going to come back the next day, and they were like, all this, you know, something happened. You know,
Right.
all this information came out, and he's like, well, maybe not.
Right.
But like Aaron Rodgers, speaking of within the NFL, of I get tested, it's like twice a day or something crazy like that. I quarantine when I'm waiting for my test results. You know, I do all the extra measures because that's what they want me to do if I'm not going to get vaccinated, and it's supposed to be a personal choice.
Right.
And so you got to assume DeMar was
The result of a vaccination?
no, but you have to assume that he was indeed
I
vaccinated.
would assume so, yeah.
I would assume 98% of the players are vaccinated.
If you were a player that didn't get vaxxed, you were almost front line of the media.
front line of the media, and then ostracized in the sense of like they want your teammates to turn on you. You know,
Right.
they want the league to turn on you.
Oh, they set it up exactly like that, you know.
So they set it up like that. So you got to assume. And then you like, I've seen no official statement on this is what happened to DeMar. I've seen like in a case like this, it's
Yeah.
a perfectly something like you get hit perfectly at the rhythm of a heartbeat
Yeah.
in the perfect spot at the perfect time.
That's what I heard.
It's like, my God, how many hits in the NFL in day-to-day life? Like, how perfect can it be?
Right.
Of a chest hit on a perfect rhythm at the perfect spot. Like,
Right.
it's just weird. And then, like you said, your timeline being full of that girl on stage at the Improv.
Saw that. Oh, that one was
That one was weird
because they laughed.
Well, because they laughed, but her joke was Jesus loves me most of all.
Boom.
Boom! Just
Did
goes
she
down.
die?
I don't know if she died.
Oh my God.
But her joke was something on Jesus, and I'm vaccinated, so now I got to be careful what I say about Jesus.
You are
Jesus,
vaccinated?
apparently, yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah. But she says something. She ends it with the clip ends with her or starts or whatever with her like, yeah, Jesus loves me most of all, though.
Right. And I heard like a cackle from the crowd.
Literally straight down,
Yeah.
which is like almost the funniest joke of all time, you know, with the punchline delivered by
Right.
Jesus himself.
Right.
It's like, it's almost the funniest joke imaginable.
He's like, I love you. I do love you the most. Come home with me.
Yes. Yeah. I don't know. Something like that. But obviously they all laughed. I feel like she hit her head hard enough that you should know that wasn't, I don't think she meant to do that.
I don't know. I don't know if it's you and me or just me or whatever, or our friend group. Like, I can tell a fall, like the difference between, maybe because I've seen you do so many dummy falls. Like,
Yeah.
I can tell when that's a good fake one. That's not a fake one.
Yeah.
I saw the head smack the ground. That's not good.
I was thinking about bringing that up, and then but it's like I don't really want the CTE
Right.
or to me to hit the perfect spot, and then my brainstem
Dude, we can go
detached
viral
or something.
I'll do a little clip of like another one on my show.
Yeah, Casey's still in the feeding tube, but he's got good spirits about it.
Over there tweeting.
Bank account's full finally.
God, if that's what it takes, maybe that's what we should do.
Eat from a feeding tube the rest of your life? No.
No, no,
I'll
no.
stay
No, I
poor.
meant to mock, to fake do that. Just make a whole narrative where, hey, help me out. Or remember that time that somebody started a GoFundMe to build the wall, and they just took all the money for the wall that Trump was wanting to build.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, you sent me the link. It's been years, been since 2020 or whatever, but. Remember how Trump was always like, we're going to build this wall? Somebody made a GoFundMe, and of course all these dumb fucking idiots were like, yeah, I'll donate to that. And it got up to like $8 million, $12 million, and then they just rugged them, just took it or whatever.
I don't know. I saw one.
It's a good idea.
I saw a girl that was raising money for a homeless guy, and it got to like $4 million, and she was pocketing it the whole way, and then she got like 5 years in jail.
Ooh.
So I don't. There's got to be some
Interesting.
kind of fraud with that.
Yeah.
But still, it's like you don't have to donate to a GoFundMe,
Yeah.
and then the GoFundMe creator. It's like
Just put it in the fine print. We'll take 20% for administrative services or whatever.
it was like we were talking to a relative about donating to charities and stuff, and it's like, well, do you want to pay the charity's electric bill,
Yeah.
you know, or like a portion of their water bill or something, or
Yeah.
like, yeah, there is administrative cost, and you think your $500 donation is going to the child in need, you know,
Right.
and it's like, well, actually, in reality, your money went to a fund to keep the lights on or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like, if you feel good about that, that's great or whatever, but the creator, whoever's taking in the money, nothing says that, you know, 1% goes to the homeless guy, 99% goes to me for setting up the thing. And
Right.
like, I got my own bills to pay.
Right,
How am I supposed to do that? So
Yeah.
it's weird how that becomes a legal issue.
Right.
You would think it's just like, yeah, it's up to them.
You got enough money to hire a lawyer. I would do that very quickly.
I don't know. Yeah, I was like,
What do I do to structure this so I can take the most money?
right, make the most money and take the least amount of jail time.
Welcome to capitalism, late
Yeah.
stage capitalism.
Oh, but then I think, I don't know. I'm 29 now, and I've had my share of 20-year-old misadventures to where it's like I see a cop and I still like elevated heart rate, a little bit of adrenaline.
Yeah.
It's like if I had money, it would mean nothing.
Right.
Like, pull me over.
Yeah.
But it's all a money game.
Right, it is.
What do they say? It's not illegal. It's legal with a fee.
Pretty much.
That's exactly
Pretty
what it
much,
is. It's like
yeah.
it's legal, but you're gonna pay a fee for it.
Right.
Like, to the poor people, it's illegal.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you gotta like serve
Right.
time or whatever you gotta do to
You're gonna
pay for it.
Right. You're going to pay for it in some sort of resource.
But
Poor
it-
people have time.
I kind of had that thought the other day. Like, see a cop, like, all right, everything good. Like, you know, like, lights are on the car. You know, like
Right.
you just kind of go through the plethora of things they could get you for or whatever.
Right.
And then it's like, if I had stupid money, like you're wasting my time by pulling me over. How much
Right.
money do you want? How much money does the court want? I'm done.
Right.
Move on with my life.
Yeah.
But it's the poor folk who has the stress about that of
Right.
like, you can't just hire a lawyer, you know,
Yeah.
you can't just do this or that.
Yep.
It's a weird life.
Isn't that the quote? You know, the rich catch a cold, the poor
Pay
the
for
poor
it or something.
die, like they pass away. Or I can't remember exactly, but it's
It's a Lincoln Park quote. When the rich wage war, it's the poor that die.
yeah. I mean that's exactly. It's you know, I'm a big fan of capitalism. Obviously, it's done me a lot of good. It's done me a lot of harm too. I don't know if there is a structure, a societal structure that you have, you know, that's better. I'd have to think about it. Or if there's one that maybe it's like a hybrid, like communism, capitalism, kind of together or something. But I will say that there's a lot of really strange things and negative things about capitalism, as far as probably the one, this makes me think of Bill Hicks. It's like, ooh, he's taking the angle on the angry comedian. That's a really good crowd, you know? Quit putting a dollar sign on every fucking thing out there. That's what capitalism, to me, everything's just money.
Yeah.
You just described it like, how much freedom do you want in your society? How much money you have. If you have enough, like, you can have ultimate freedom. Or if you don't have any, well, you're pretty limited on what you can do and where you can go. The only thing that's beyond that is if you do have a high enough intelligence and creativity, then perhaps maybe you could escape the system that way. But it just, intelligence and creativity usually leads you to monetary value, which leads you to ultimate freedom within the society.
I kind of come up with two arguments, though, of like, one, you have universal basic income, and then one, you have where we are now, to where how many players, say, in the NFL came from nothing.
Yeah.
Like, would I say most? Like, maybe.
A large majority.
Seems
like it.
Large majority, that's most. You know, I'd say a decent number. I don't know what that is, but like a considerable number of players came from nothing. And then you have like the legacy players. My dad played or whatever. Like, okay.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm sure there's inherent advantage that comes from that, like
from the legacy.
Yeah, like you grew up in the NFL and you know what it takes. You know the right people, the coaches that can get you.
You've seen the workouts,
and of course it takes like talent, but also, you know, a lot of it's like how Jocko talks about the SEAL training. Like you don't know who's going to make it. The stud that was in high school, the all state, all pro, whatever, that tries to get through buds.
Yeah.
He might be the first one to tap. You don't know. And the skinny nerd or whatever that's got the grit of a champion, you know, that's what it takes or whatever. So, yeah, there is a lot that goes into it. You know, you can't just be a son of an NFL player and make it. Right. But then I would say on the counter argument, so look at that in society of, yeah, we came from nothing. My only choice was to spend my all my days in the library learning, and now I'm the super crazy whatever, you know, programmer, analyst, whatever. I work for NASA or whatever the case is. Of, I guess my point would be excelling the trajectory of society.
Well, what do they call it? Initiative, right? It gives you initiative if you're hungry. If you have no opportunity, no other choice.
Right. If you want to eat, this is what you have to do.
I've heard you make the simulation or whatever. It's you who came from a good family, Midwest upbringing, you know, like you got options, you're smart, you could do this, you could do that. You have handful of directions that you could go. And say you chose to play football, and then you go up against a kid who's from the projects. He has, like, it's either make this team or go back to selling crack or whatever.
Yeah,
that's drastic.
My mom doesn't get to eat.
Or my mom, I can't pay my mom's hospital bills. Like, he's going to run your ass over. Or he's going to die doing it.
Right.
You know? And so are you saying that a good aspect of that is pushing it gives you the energy to...
Just a thought experiment here, because that was like option A or whatever. And then option B is universal basic.
Right.
To where, you know, I guess the argument would be like you would have more people literally and metaphorically hungry in how capitalism is right now. But I think if you're super smart and you're super driven, not even super, let's take away those modifiers of like, if you're capable and you want something bad enough with universal basic, you're still going to go get it. Like, you don't need the necessity. If you're already like, I want to work on a spaceship that goes to Mars.
Right.
And that's all you want. That's all you can think about.
Right.
You're probably still going to do it, even though, you know, your family is off universal basic and you have the basic necessities taken care of. You know, it's like, you don't have to worry about that. So, I mean, I would predict that society would move no less fast, or like no less slower, I should say. Society would not move slower with universal basic, but with capitalism like it is today, my prediction, I could be wrong, because universal basic could take care of needs of kids who don't have to flip burgers at McDonald's their whole life, you know, take a manager position at McDonald's, nothing wrong with it, but to do that for their livelihood. And instead, with universal basic, maybe they could have gone to college, and then maybe they could have, you know, gone and really reached for something higher. So, you know, now I'm talking. You ever do that? Tell yourself two arguments and then like keep circling around.
Oh, yeah.
Play both sides.
Of course.
Because now I would have said at the beginning of this, I would have said that capitalism today provides more hungry people that want to
Provides the drive.
exceed.
To excel.
But now, now that I run it through, now I almost feel like universal basic, just because it's like, now we all got an even playing field.
Mm-hmm.
So if you want to do something, like, go ahead and do it, not I have to do this.
Right.
Or because think about the guys who don't make it to the NFL,
Right.
who get run over by the hungrier guy.
Yeah, right.
And now you go back to the projects and, like, good luck. Nobody
Yeah.
gives a shit about you.
Right. Well, it makes me think of Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? If you have shelter, if you have food, safety, all that kind of stuff, then you can focus on becoming enlightened, I guess it is at the top of the pyramid, which really would kind of be the structure of universal basic income, which is here's the bottom of our society is built in a way that everything at the bottom of this hierarchy of needs is accessible, plentiful, in non-judgmental way. It's not like welfare. We're like, oh, you're on welfare.
Right.
Or whatever. It's like, no, everybody has access to it. It's no problem. Take advantage of it and then do whatever. And that would provide a platform or a foundation to where a person that is driven or has a dream, like maybe there's a kid out there that is like, wait a minute, I can work on the space station. I didn't even know I could do that. I'm just so damn hungry all the time. And I'm just trying to make a living to eat. So I see what you're saying. It's probably, both are probably true, but I would say that a lot of the time, the drive, the ambition, it's just there. It's not really pulled up from the situation. I mean, it can be, but I think a lot of times people are just like, I'm just driven to do that.
Yeah. And that's why I say, like, I think there is an argument out there that's like, oh, everybody gets lazy on universal basic.
A lot of people probably would.
And it's like, yeah, they can do that. Like, it's a free country. If they want to be lazy, like, that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But B, if they want to do something, they're still going to do it, whether they do it with no money or like universal basic, or I should say basic necessities taken care of.
Mm-hmm.
Whichever one they have, they're going to do it. And then you put a giant brick wall in their face, they're going to climb over it. And then then there's a death in the family.
I am the
they're
wall.
going to keep moving.
I am the wall. You ever read Yuval Noah Harari?
No, I've heard of him. Isn't he Tribe?
No, that's Sebastian Junger.
Oh.
Junger, Junger, Younger. No, Yuval Harari, Noah Yuval Harari. He wrote *Sapiens*. That's like what really put him on the map. And then he wrote *Homo Deus*. But then he wrote another one called *21 Lessons for the 21st Century*. That one is really good. It's an easy read, but it has 21 chapters that kind of compile these thoughts or beliefs going into the 21st century, to where, like, I bet you never thought about this. Like, this is a problem that we're going to have. One of them is aging. It's like, what if we're going to get to it, but like, what happens when people live to 200? Like, that's just normal. And then he describes, like, this is the top of the iceberg changes that I can kind of see from this vantage point if we lived to 200. And they are astronomical.
Yeah.
He was saying, like, Stalin would still be alive today. Hitler would still be alive, barring the, killing themselves or whatnot.
Right.
But like, people like that would still be alive if our human lifespan was.
It takes life-term politicians
Exactly.
to a whole new level.
Exactly. And that's what he talks about, is restructuring. All of society would have to be restructured. You can't retire at 50 anymore because you live 150 more years. You'd have to still work. There's another chapter that talks about AI and how powerful AI is coming into the society, and how it can take jobs like flipping burgers, the meaningless jobs, the tasks where nobody wants to work at Walmart checking people out. I mean, I don't think so. I didn't want to. And it's such a maniacal, that's not the right word, but it's fit really well.
Monotonous.
Such a monotonous job that pretty soon an AI for sure is going to be able to just boom, go out,
Well, they don't even need AI. They tell us to do it.
Right.
The shopper to do it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, which is really interesting.
Well, it's interesting when they want to check the receipt as you leave of like, no, I have to do this.
Right.
Whenever you could pay people, like, you made this decision. You made this call.
Right. Why are you stopping me?
Right. I've seen like whatever clips or whatever, people just like flash them the receipt. Here's my receipt. I'm not wasting my time.
Right. For you to look at it.
You're going to force me to check out myself, then I'm going to do it. And it's your trust in me, that you have. I'm not going to sit here where you check everything off. Right. Like, no.
There is.
I've never done that, but like, there may be a day where I just keep walking.
I've had people. Oh, I see. Yeah, I've
had people like, I'll let them check or whatever. Right. Or like, usually if it's the thing not in the bag, to where it's
exactly.
Like, okay, yeah, I bought the dog food. Don't worry.
Right.
Stupid.
But I will say that they are watching everything you do, and they have humans that analyze the videos, and they will build reports on you. And if you steal enough, or if you do something,
You're talking in the future?
no, now they already have that, because there was a guy, an administrator, educational administrator that my mother-in-law knew in the area that was stealing over like 6 months. He stole like olives. It was the dumbest shit.
Oh, is he a cop?
No, he got busted because he was doing self-checkout, and he would do a thing like not scan or something like that. And he got away with it like for 6 or 7, 8 months or whatever. And then one day they had, not the FBI, but it's like some sort of law enforcement there walking out because he did it again. Brought him into a room. They said, here's every time that you've done this in the past 6 months, a detailed report, like, I don't know, Mr. White will double scan, double non-scan his olives or whatever. And it's all because of that fucking camera. There's a camera here. There's a camera on the thing, on the laser. And so they're always building a file on you. Now, if you forget to scan something, you know, they're not going to build a file on you. It's going to say, I don't know, dumbass error or something.
Yeah.
But if you continually make a pattern out of it, they will.
There was a guy, I thought he was a Galena cop. And now I don't want to speak.
Oh, maybe
out
it
of
was a
turn
cop.
here.
Maybe it was just stealing olives.
It was like olives. There was like a sports bra.
Yeah,
There
that's
was-
him. I guess it was a cop.
I thought it was a cop.
Oh, I thought it was
It was a Galena PD.
Oh, there you go.
I mean, that's what I understood. That's who I saw because
As I saw, people made memes.
yeah. Well, one guy in particular. I don't know if he wants.
Do you know?
Yeah.
You know him?
Oh yeah. You know him too.
Oh, awesome.
He makes the best memes, dude.
That is hilarious. I want to know who it is after the podcast, because my mother-in-law pulled up. She's like, someone's making memes.
Oh.
And I looked at it. I go,
He
that
does
is
it
fucking
for
hilarious.
Cherokee County cops. Like,
That is hilarious.
so good.
Wow.
She probably wouldn't care, but I don't know. I don't want to.
No, it's good. No, we don't want to put any. I want him to keep making them because they.
Oh, he will.
The olive one was, whoever you are, it made me cry. It was
And
so fucking
he's starting his own YouTube stuff now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
for him. That is, yeah. So sorry, not an educational person, but the daughter of the Walmart that he got caught at, or that he did the most stealing from, released the documents that were built on him on Facebook because people were standing up for him like, he would never do this.
Oh,
You've got the
no.
wrong guy. And she goes, here's our evidence, of 6 months. It was so fucking olives. Like,
Yeah,
he lost
right.
it. It was the dumbest thing. Like,
There's like olive sports bra. There was other stuff like that to where it's just like, what are you doing?
yeah, it was very
And at some point, we know a person like this. There's klepto behavior,
Right.
to where it's a thrill. They get something out of it. It's
Right.
To where a sane person would be like, if I can't afford it, maybe I would,
Right.
not go hungry for the day or whatever.
Right,
Like
right.
maybe that would happen. But to where it's a game, to where it's a thrill of,
Right.
you walk out and your heart's beating, it's like, you get a rush from it,
Right.
which is something of that. That's what I assume. Like, they're never going to catch me, kind of thought of you're getting away with something.
Well, to me, it just reveals how much of a fucking dumbass this guy was to think self-checkout. Well, I just don't have to scan, and then I'll get free olives. It's just a little. It's like $5.
But that's how it starts.
Well, that's how it starts. But also, it's
I don't know how it ended like that. But that's supposed to be how it starts.
progress any further. I just know. I guess I just know. I'm like, no, they're watching from every. Maybe because we worked in a casino and there were literally cameras in the fucking
But I see
toilet.
it as Walmart. And it's like, Walmart doesn't care.
Oh man,
Walmart doesn't give a shit.
Walmart's IT. I mean, everybody wants data. Everybody wants to compile that data, sift through the data, use the data, and Walmart is one of the mega corporations on earth. They are what's Mr. Robot? What's the
Evil Corp.
Evil Corp? They are one of the evil corps of the world for sure. Taking life insurance out on their oldest employees and not telling them. So when they died, they collected the life insurance and not the people's families. I mean, that's a confirmed story that Walmart was guilty of doing for fucking a while. And so to me, it's just like, yeah, this is not a fucking family-friendly warehouse to buy my groceries. This is a data collection agency where I walk in and, I mean, I'm guilty of doing some stuff that is definitely like non-cyber security, like using the scan app on my phone for Walmart. So they have everything I scan, and they have that compiled. When do I buy it? How much do I buy it? You know, I go through the like, you know, you when you come on Tuesdays in the evening, you usually buy hummus. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I'm going to go get hummus. So I have TikTok on my phone. That's actually fucking malware, you know, Chinese malware.
I still don't have it on this new one.
You don't?
No.
So you're off the grid.
I have it on my other one.
You're next to me, so now you're being picked up.
I have it on the Pixel. So it's like they don't get phone calls and stuff, but they have all of my old phones, you know, this and that and the other thing.
And I've actually considered doing that. I've actually considered buying an old iPhone for $100 and that being my TikTok phone.
Yeah.
And keeping it off this one, which I still might do that if it's not too late.
I have like over 700 messages from you, from Devin, from all my friends that
on TikTok.
Yeah, on TikTok that I'm never gonna go through, but yeah, I still get them.
I send you some good stuff.
You send me good stuff. Colby's probably my number one. We're linked up to where it's either like super disturbing or absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
And it's just like he definitely sends. Devin's algorithm is completely bonkers.
I blame Devin for some of those dumbest videos on my algorithm. They are. I'm like, that's from Devin. That is from Devin sending me.
I don't even know how his feed got the way that it is, but I know everybody says it's super accurate. You know, like, and you know, I'll still scroll Facebook and everything. They have reels. I mean, I don't. Some of those.
Yeah.
Make me upset for having wasted 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Why does this have 500,000 likes and is being suggested to me? Like watching a fucking microwave turn or something. Like that's how boring it is. That's how stupid the video is that I'm watching, to where it's like TikTok has the best of the best short videos.
Their algorithm is too strong. And maybe it's because it is malware.
Well, I just hate that it's I hate that it's so gruesome on the back end of like, why can't I have this on my phone and this be my quick scroll of the day, or like check messages? That's kind of how I started into it. I would just look messages and then little by little look or do my own scrolling. Right. But I'd get sent enough stuff that's like that's good enough for me, and then I'll be good with it. But
yeah.
Can't have it. So now I'm back to like, how do you start on a message page that's 200 messages deep? You know, like where do you start?
I thought you said 700.
Well, like total of like probably 6 or 7 people sending me, on the regular, sending me stuff that I haven't advertised it. I don't look at it or whatever, but I don't know. I've probably been like 40 or 50 behind for one single person, or maybe multiple people. And I've just, been on the shitter and been like, okay, it's time. And I'll hit your 20 video and I'll hit that button and it takes me to the top. Right. So that's it. But I wish you could bookmark it. Like look through 10 of them and then say, here's where I want to start next time. Right. Because then I could kind of start working them down.
Right. And not all at once.
Yeah. Rather than like, we'll take you to message 100 and I look through 10 of them. Right. It's like, I don't even know which one did I last look at, which one, this one's video unavailable. It's already been taken down. Like it's tough. But
there's something to say about the structure of TikTok. And I was going to say, we're all over the place, but that's fine. Yuval Noah Harari talked about the useless class, which is coming. And there's already a useless class for sure. You would probably say that the poor.
They're getting back to universal basic here.
That's what it leads to, because people have nothing to do.
Yeah, right.
Even if they have a skill like programming, like ChatGPT is already going in the direction of you don't need.
I think that's the only hope, right? Is intellectual position in society.
That's the only hope. Creative is probably the other one, but you look at Dolly and you look at what's the other one? Midjourney, and those are already starting to be like, wow, that's okay. So. Well, it kind of makes me think of what we were talking about in the coffee shop earlier. I think it was a YouTube video that you were watching that said, really, it's not about making your own content. It's about getting the content that other people are making to the right crowd, right? Something like that.
Yeah, essentially.
That might be the only hope for humanity is you just get a genre, I'm all about Pokemon cards. I'm going to go get the information. I'm going to bring it to you.
I think that same
Which is kind of like a search engine.
that same one, that same one said something like the internet is the only place where there can be 8 million monopolies or something like that.
I might have watched that same video because I heard that.
It's a quote, so
okay.
I think he just used that quote in his video.
I've heard that before.
But it's just one of those things that kind of like changes your mentality on it of like the internet is so big that to think that there's not an audience out there.
Right.
And then some of the stuff that I get or see, I guess, that is like, I'm not interested in this. There's nothing. You were talking to you or somebody about a guy at work that plays his music.
Oh,
that's like this music, this song. There's good songs. Like, there's good songs on there and everything, but like there's a few in particular that's just like nothing about this song attracts me.
Yeah.
It actually reverse effect. It repulses me. It makes me feel negative feelings. Disgust.
Thumbs down.
It makes me feel disgust to where they have thousands of followers. They have thousands of fans. They make a good living off of it. But I don't. So that's whenever I guess encourage people and like put your stuff out there.
Yeah.
Just put it out there.
Well,
somebody's gonna like it. Somebody's gonna laugh. I find myself cringy. Like I can't listen to my own podcast. I can barely watch myself or anything. Like I find it cringy, and then I get positive feedback of like, "How the hell did you like it? I hated it."
Yeah,
it's just whatever that not self-loathing, but
self-deprecation, or
well, I don't know, just that lane of like can't stand yourself, but other people do, and not that I can't stand myself, but it's just watching myself. And all
it was definitely a curve for me.
Yeah,
but I had to edit the podcast.
Yeah, somebody had to.
Yeah. And, hours and hours and hours of editing the podcast and listening to myself and watching myself. And I just kind of was like, oh, I have to accept this. And then after a while, I thought, I liked what he had to say there. Like, I almost saw myself as a third person.
I was going to say, there's a lot of learning to be done, no doubt, of just how to communicate. And I remember one of our very first episodes, you were talking how like I was on a point or on a rant or something, and then you butted in or whatever. It was like that stuff you don't know until you see it firsthand, or even like we're gonna probably leave today. Like that was a good podcast, or whatever, and then you sleep on it, and then you watch it again or whatever, and there's just so much more that pops out to you after kind of having slept on it a few days, or putting distance, in between you and it. So
yeah, I remember listening to that podcast, like. Years later, listening to it, and then you had a great point. I'm like, as a listener, I'm like, this is very interesting, and I'm like, hey, look at this, or whatever, and it was talking about cringe. I was like, God, this guy sucks.
Derail and whatever else.
That's been one of my challenges. Is loving your past selves. Like my boyhood self, easy, love that guy, love that kid, he's awesome. Middle school, love that kid. He's goofy, awesome. You get into the high school and like early 20s, me and him, we I don't know. There was a lot that was going on there at that time, and I just haven't resolved it with him. So we're still kind of like, going at it like, man, why are you so egotistical? Like, I'm full fucking testosterone, bro. I feel great, but whatever. A lot of that came from, the desire to be famous and like, just delusion, really. But anyway, I'm not sure where I'm going with that. Useless Class, AI Taking Over. It's a fascinating book, 21 rules, 21 lessons for the 21st century. Yeah, I like it. Don't know how I was going with all that.
Well, yeah, Useless Class, I think it's basically already here. They're just stretching it out, but it's going to get worse. Like we went and saw Avatar 2 the other night. It's like the construction bots.
Yeah.
It's like,
right.
I think there's probably majority of professions is like, yeah, well, not us, because nobody can do what we do. Like, okay, pal. Right. You think robots can't be programmed to build a pressure vessel that I'm talking about
a geometric material pattern or
with
whatever,
perfect welds, with perfect this, that, the other thing, to where it takes a human 200 hours and it takes a robot 20 or something. It's just like
they don't stop
without fault.
Sleep.
Yeah, runs 24/7. They're perfect, QC'd everything.
There's a factory in Carthage, I think it is. It's a huge, it looks like an arc base. It's just a big square. It's
Nice.
it's enormous. It's all robots. Like no people work there besides the people that operate the robots.
Right.
So the guy's telling me about this. He's like, there's no lights in there. I'm like, wait, what? It's like, there's no lights. Well, there is lights, but they're always off because robots don't need light
Right.
because they don't need to see.
Yeah.
Not all robots.
Light, dark,
Some
upside
do.
down. Doesn't matter.
Day, night, cold, warm, doesn't matter. Yeah. And that building a house or a structure, that's the example that we're on. People got to communicate. Robots communicate instantaneously, and they share. If you learn something as a robot, you just share it with like, I just learn it. You share it.
Like a hive mentality.
They were talking about that with farm equipment, and I sent it to Dad. A cabless tractor. It's like a drone tractor, and it goes through in a field. And once it goes through the field and it has it GPS coordinated, it updates its mind. That gets based to the cloud, and then all the tractors get updated from that field. So that, I guess that's exponential data. Same with Tesla. Colin was telling me every Tesla on the road is gathering the information from their 42 cameras or whatever, uploading it to the cloud, and then that Tesla pulls all that data from the cloud. So it's like, it's a hive mind is what it is. Which, how do you feel about Neuralink? You gonna get it? If you could?
No. I mean, there's going to be a lot that happens before I get it.
Really?
Yeah.
But you're not like, never.
I wouldn't say never. I would get Neuralink before I go into space. I'm not leaving Earth.
Yeah.
You can send me out
To
after
Mars?
I'm dead. You can send me to the void of space, but not when I'm alive.
You remember when Elon sent the Tesla into
That's
space?
what I'm saying. I mean, if I'm dead, whatever.
No one was in there. Allegedly.
Yeah, right.
I saw memes like dead hookers or something. Like they just had to get rid of her body
So,
or his body.
pregnant hooker up in space.
In a Tesla.
Disguised in a spacesuit. I
That's
mean,
disgusting.
hey, he's creative, you
The
know.
world is already squirrely, and he is creative.
That goes back to conspiracy stuff. Like, what's a conspiracy anymore? So much has been proven true. The JFK files that got released, like
All these years.
something probably definitely happened with the FBI.
Right.
Like, the FBI is still around, you know. Like,
Right.
how do you trust anybody?
You can't. You got to have the arc mentality. It's just like, you stay there. I can't let you any closer.
Yeah, which is basically trust. I mean, almost as little as possible in a sense.
Well, it's Bitcoin's slogan, don't trust, verify.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the age that we live in. The other day I was talking to a company about a big video project spanning like 3 months. And the guy's like, there's no reason that we wouldn't pay you. And it's like, I know that there's no reason now,
Yeah.
but I don't know what happens in March. So let's just make a contract
Yeah.
and you sign, I sign. And then there's no reason that you can't pay
But
me.
and it's like the sun is shining today.
Exactly.
That doesn't mean that it's going to be all sunshine for the next 6 months.
Right.
So if shit hits the fan,
Yeah.
how am I supposed to know that you're going to like back me up or
Yeah.
you're going to do this or that? You just never know until you get there.
Right.
Unless now, not to bring it up, but while I was in Colorado, if you want to know more about that, check out my previous episode. But there were people to where, yes, the sun was shining metaphorically, but it's like, I think I could trust you with anything, like regardless.
yeah.
I could call on you and I wouldn't. And I think I was talking to, it was like one of my last days there, and there was a girl who volunteered my ceremony. Sweet little girl, love her. And she was talking about this friend that she has that like is a klepto, steals from her. And I'm thinking to myself, I can't have that. Like in my close circle, she's like, she's my best friend and all this stuff, and she steals from you.
Right.
And she's like, yeah, I just have to watch out that she doesn't. And I'm just thinking like, I can't have that. And a buddy that I met there, who I talked about, Ellis, who I talked about on the previous podcast, he was kind of like trying to follow my logic. How I was like, I would cut that person, gone, all this stuff. And Ellis was kind of asking why. It's like, I need complete trust in you. And I would say in my circle, like that's there.
Yeah.
With a couple guys, maybe not 100% of them, but like that circle gets tighter, you know? It's like,
Yeah.
for my tight circle, like 100%. I can be on the other side of the world and you can be in my house and I'm not thinking of one single thing that's going to be missing, or, you know,
Right.
You have my phone and I'm wherever gone and it's unlocked. Like, there's nothing that is going to happen. There's 100% trust there. And what were we talking about before that?
Don't trust, verify.
Yeah, I
And there's
guess-
people, the klepto, you can't have that energy.
Well, I guess the
and then
don't
Ellis
trust
was-
verify is like 99.9% of the people. But I guess my point was there are people out there
Sure.
that was quicker than I would have
Oh.
liked even.
Oh, yeah.
That's just like, I trust you.
Uh-huh.
Like, you have it.
Yeah.
You have my trust. And, you know, it didn't take much to verify, but you got it. So it's like, I don't know. It's very person by person basis, I guess. But yeah, majority, I mean, 99% of the people like stays at arm's length for a long time until, hey, it's cloudy and you're still around. Okay. Hey, it's storming out and, you know, there's a blizzard and you're still have my back. All right. You know, like, now you're in. Now it's, and just getting back to reciprocal altruism to where,
Yeah.
hey, when the time comes that you need something from me, you got it.
Yeah.
You know, it's there.
Yeah.
So,
I'm definitely guilty. I hate to admit this, but I'm definitely guilty of like putting people through trials where they like come to me and they're like, you know,
I am too.
like maybe they want to be friends, or maybe, you know, maybe I want to be friends with them too. And we continually are in the same vicinity or whatever, but just whatever. I don't know if it's because we grew up that way or I grew up that way, isolated in the Quapaw woods. I will put them through sometimes some like pretty rigorous, like I will set up an obstacle course, or I'll set up like a suicide mission almost, where it's like, you know, you won't, after this, you're going to hate me and you won't. And then sometimes some of my best friends like made it through and I'm like, you're still here? All right, fine. You get to go all the way to the center of my heart. And I tell Kelsey, like, you constantly have a pistol straight to my heart. Like, your trigger, you have your finger on the trigger, the pistol is at my heart, and there's nothing in between. You pull it, I can't stop you. That's how open and vulnerable I am to you. She and a few other people could literally destroy me with words, destroy me with the behavior. Like, that's how open I am to you. I don't have any guards against you.
I think that's a tough way to frame it, though, because, you know, Kelsey isn't thinking, I have a pistol straight to your heart.
Might be a poor metaphor.
Maybe.
I
see what you're saying.
I just mean to say I am so vulnerable. There's nothing guarding the most vulnerable part of me. The deepest part of my soul is accessible to you. If you decided to set some C4 under my heart or my soul, back to Ark, you're going to do it. I can't stop you. Like, I can't do it. And there's not very many people. Obviously, like you said, your circle gets tighter as it gets towards the center. There's not a lot of people that can do that. And that's for a fucking reason, you know? And a lot of people on the podcast who I look up to and admire have verbatim said the same thing. I got a tight circle. I got a small circle.
Well, if you have a big circle, that's ground zero for distrust.
Really?
I mean, I would say so. Like, you're not close with anybody, but you're close with everybody. That's a red flag, if you ask me.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, I don't want to be close to you because that means you're probably close to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's, you know.
I don't know. I could think of several people that have big networks.
A network I would consider, you know, separate from a circle in the sense of, like, I know a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean they're, like, tight with me.
I guess those people that I'm thinking of have big networks, but they also have their people, like their circle, I guess. So, yeah. I guess that would be kind of weird if you didn't have a circle. It's just like you kind of floated around.
I mean, didn't have a circle or
Spy.
Well, I mean, I think of Ash referencing my previous podcast.
Oh, I
of
thought we
like,
were going Pokemon here.
no, Ash Ruiz. How it's like he almost does float, but he floats in the sense of like, hurt me, like do your worst, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. It's like
That's like-
I'm still gonna beam nothing but light and love.
That's like Jesus.
Yeah,
mentality
right
there.
right. So
Wow.
like, you know, I can't say everybody who has openness like that is I couldn't trust because I feel like I could trust him pretty well. But yeah, I think there are some people. It's like circle means there's boundaries. Why would you want to put boundaries on it? You know, just be open. It's
Right.
like,
Do you think he's
kinda
ever been hurt?
Oh.
Like drastically hurt?
there's a documentary about
How
the-
hurt he's
the,
been?
the band that he was in, and
yeah.
he was in a band called Menudo,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess it was like the biggest band in the world, biggest boy band in the world.
Like the Latin America world?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
And something about I never watched it, but
What's it called?
Menudo, I think MENUDO, if I remember correctly. I think it's on Amazon or maybe HBO or something.
MEN?
UDO.
Members then and now.
So yeah, he's been through some shit.
Is he in this video?
Probably. I don't know. 1984
With Ricky Martin.
I never watched it. I always meant to, but I just never got around to it. But I heard from the people who watched it that like he's been through some absolute stuff.
Interesting.
And you know, you imagine pretty boy band, like you know, let your imagination go from there.
Right.
And yet here he is, like one of the most peaceful people.
Which makes me think, it's like, see how I first went to, he's so open, he has to be uninitiated in the pain, in the world of pain. You know, he's
right.
he's naive. He's never had someone stab him in the heart. That's why he would trust the whole world. You know, no one's evil. You can trust everybody. But then it goes on to show the people that are the most open are like the most hurt. It's like if you go into the process of that whole situation, the whole evolution of that mindset, so many people get caught in the middle, which is where I've been hurt so bad, I'm not trusting anyone. It's like, that's not the end of that road.
Oh, right.
Keep going, and you're going to get to the part where you understand that no matter what you do, you're going to get hurt.
Just want to see if it has names here.
Puerto Rican boy band Ricky Martin and Draco Rosa, especially during the 80s, disbanded in 2009.
See, I mean, he might not be in this, but from what I understood, it was like once the boys aged out, they would bring in a new boy to keep it a boy band.
Right, of course.
So somehow or another, he was mixed into all that. That's getting off track just to say that, like, he is somebody who has been hurt and remains completely open, completely vulnerable. I'm sure he has, like, you would think somebody that knows him knows his soft spots. I would think it's pretty impossible to not have soft spots to where he still could be hurt. So I don't know how you manage that. I don't know if it's like, it's one of those things. I follow a page on Facebook called Poetic Outlaws. It's awesome.
Yeah.
And one of them was like,
sounds cool.
Feelings are never buried. They just come back as mutants or something like that. You know, they just come back like worse.
Right.
So you have to feel everything. And so I don't know if that would be like, you're betrayed, don't bury it, sit in the betrayal, feel it out, feel it as completely as you can possibly feel. Like, allow it to happen, allow yourself to feel like shit, because it's not going to feel good to, you know, feel betrayed. And then once you're past it, then move on. That would be my thought to probably what he does. Like, I'm hurt, I'm just going to sit here. I'm not going to distract myself. I'm not going to like run away from it. I'm going to sit in the pain and, like, I mean, in a sense, perpetuate it. Play sad music, you know, like pull yourself there so you can feel it out. And then, you know, maybe you go to bed with tears in your eyes. And, well, guess what? You're going to wake up and it's going to be a new day, and you're going to put on happy music, and, you know, you're going to be beyond it. And it's not going to be this resentful demon in your closet anymore. It's gone. You felt it out.
Well, and that's the argument for demons. You know, oh, I have demons or whatever. It's like, well, those are, like you said, mutated pieces of you, or unacknowledged pieces. Like that's that Jung talks about that with a shadow. That's not me. That's not really me. Like, oh yes, that is you actually. And you need to incorporate that into who you are, and you're going to feel a lot better. And I saw a TikTok, or I saved a TikTok the other day where this guy said, he was like, you know, yelling at somebody, and it said people that use their past hurt to hurt people. And then it cut, and it had just it was a Stoicism thing. He's just sitting there like this. And it said people that go out of their way not to hurt people because they've been hurt. And that's kind of what I feel from from this whole conversation with that is that he probably knows the feeling of being betrayed, if that's what happened or whatever, whatever example that is there. He understands like, wow, that really hurt. I don't want anyone else to feel that. And then takes that stance and decides this is how I'm going to live. I'm going to be open and vulnerable. And yeah, I guarantee I'm going to get hurt again because I'm so open and vulnerable. I accept it.
Yeah.
That's a difficult place to be, but probably rewarding.
Yeah. I think mine, mentality or whatever is something along the lines of acceptance. It's like, I will just openly accept people as they are, like without needing, I don't know. I guess this kind of gets back to where we started from, but I think that's what I'm going for, unconsciously, is this like, I want you to feel accepted around me.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I want you to feel like you're a part. And I fail at that so often of like, just, you know, I don't know, I'm a person. It's like, sometimes, you know, you're at a party and a stranger walks in or something. It's like, I want to be with my friends, you know. I don't want to like have to greet the new, oh, maybe he sucks. Maybe he's this or that. And it's like, so I do that all the time. Like, and I recognize that's one of those moments in life where you just feel bad.
Right.
Like you feel you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
It's like instant feedback. It's
right.
Instant punishment.
Right.
Because I'm sitting there like turning my back to the new guy because I don't want to talk. I don't want to be the one to talk to him. Send Devin or send somebody else over there to talk to him. And it's like, that's not
whose responsibility is that?
Yeah, that's not what you're going for. You know, it's like I want to accept people. I want them to feel welcome.
Right.
So that's what I try to do. But you know, fail often. It's all right.
Fail often, and man, if you hear that voice, and I say hear like audible, but a lot of times I'm not hearing it. I'm aware of it. I'm aware of the energy, you know, like you said, you know that you should do something about this guy. I feel that a lot with introducing myself, and I've done a lot better at jiu-jitsu. I'm just like, hi, I thought about this not the other day. I thought about this a while back when I was kind of toying around with learning Japanese. I thought, okay, when anyone learns a different language, like one of the first things that you learn how to say is, hello, my name is. And I thought to myself, when was the last time I said that in English? I hadn't said it for maybe since kindergarten, you know, like when was the last time that I, Colton, could remember, hello, my name is Colton. Who are you? And so I have really tried to do that, especially at jiu-jitsu, because there's a lot of new people that come through. Pokemon League last week too, is just a whole new crowd of people. Yeah. I was like, all it takes is a connection. Hi, my name is Mike. I'm Colton. Wow. Now I know Mike, you know?
I'll tell you, I'm sure you felt this. How good does it feel when somebody does that to you? You know, when you don't know somebody, hey, my name is Mike. And this is like, it's an instant like diffusion of something. Like, I don't know what, not that there's like tension, but there kind of is tension of like, you know, do I know you? Do we know each other? No, probably not. Like, there's just like back and forth of, I guess it's like the unknown of, it's kind of same with the demons of like, I can't look at it. I can't look at it. And it's like, once you look at it, it loses all its power kind of thing. And in the same sense, to be like that to somebody, to be the one that says, hi, I'm Casey. Like, you were really intimidating, and now you have diffused yourself into like a friend. Right. And now we're on like mutual grounds of, you know, ice broken kind of thing. Right. So
you've just opened the pathway to communication.
And then sometimes I'm like, dang it, that could have been me. See, he's a nice guy.
That's me
and now he did it.
That's me all the time.
Now he did it to me, and now I'm like the beta. Right. Not that you always have to be alpha or whatever, but like now I'm the beta bitch that's like, oh, I'll meet if you want to meet. Like, no, just take the initiative, go do the thing. Yeah. And it's over. And then everybody, like, it's like nobody's in power. Right. But I don't know what I'm trying to say. Nobody's in power, but you're all powerful, you know, kind of thing.
Right. It's, well, who initiates the energy exchange? That's important. Alex Alakine, never forget, told me, you know, if he was at a party with his ex-girlfriend was there, and it was like, well, I can be over here of the house party if she's over here. It's very awkward, you know, there's hard feelings on both sides. He's like, I could do that. Or, and this is what he did, walked up, said, hey, how are you? Made contact. Oh, I'm fine. I hope you're doing good. You know, it was a very cordial interaction, and then they both had a good evening, you know, doing their thing.
Right. Well, then if you go grab a drink from the fridge and then she's in there,
100%,
it's already done.
Yeah.
Hey,
Oh,
grab and go, and you're done.
If you've already interacted, right? Versus if you are avoiding and you're like, I'm going to grab a friend, and then she's right there.
That, or what I've done before is like you can't even have a good time because it's like your peripherals are overactive.
What if you catch your eyes?
Well, you're just like you almost keep track. You know, it's
Right.
like you have a mental tracker. All right, she's in the bathroom. I can go get that drink real quick, and then come. It's like what are you doing?
Right.
You're like playing a weird, stupid game all of a sudden.
100%. You're using mental resources just to keep track and to avoid.
Right.
And his point was, and he put it in just like poetic terms, is like, I'm not at a party. Wait, she's not at a party with me. I'm at a party with no. Something like that. Hang on.
Yeah.
She, by him initiating, something like I'm not locked in a room with them. They're locked in a room with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like that, the way that he framed that, to where it's like, if you initiate that, you're in control. You're in control of the energy exchange, I guess is what I'm going to call it, where you decide, I'm going to be cordial and kind and respectful. Well, you've set the standard, and if she or he wants to take that to somewhere else and be an asshole or whatever, like, that's on them. Yeah. And now they've disrupted that, but you've made your chess move and you're good to go. Yeah. There was one. Oh, talking, exchanging, introducing yourself or whatever. It's the same way as if I am uncomfortable, even in just a little bit, just like a social anxiety, like, this person's probably uncomfortable. Like you said, we're intimidating looking guys or whatever. We're big, but it's just easy to go, hi, how are you? Now the communication lines are open. Right. They know how to address you. Casey, can you show me or whatever? And it's easy. Yeah. It's easy to do.
It's same with the gym. Just like a simple head nod.
100%.
Just like, I see you.
Yeah.
Talking to Avatar. I see you.
Yeah.
Boom. You don't even have to say words.
Yeah. I see you. That's good.
I don't know how long we're going, but I gotta take a leak, and I feel like we're gonna go more than an hour and a half.
Oh, that's fine.
So BRB.
Okay, BRB. Pre-TikTok, which, arguably Vine was pre-TikTok, or it was TikTok, I guess.
Vine?
Yeah. I mean, it had the quick cuts.
It's weird. Like, Vine is MySpace to Facebook to TikTok.
It really is. What Vine was it Facebook? Who owned it?
No,
It was Twitter,
I'm just saying, like, Vine to TikTok is MySpace to Facebook.
Oh, for sure.
Something like that. Maybe you don't want to be the 1.0. You don't want to be the 1.0 version. Although I'm pretty sure MySpace got bought, and he's doing just fine.
I think MySpace is still around.
I thought he got bought. It might still be around, but I think Tom or whoever sold it.
Oh, right.
So, I mean, he went away fine.
Facebook bought it, and they're like, just sit on it.
I feel like Facebook could just, like, yeah, stay open. I don't care.
We don't need to buy you.
Yeah, right. You're not a competitor. We're doing something completely different.
MySpace. That's crazy. I remember MySpace.
Speaking of Facebook, it's like when Zuckerberg went on to Rogan, I liked Zuckerberg more afterwards. Right. And I was like, that's probably part of the agenda.
100%.
It's like, damn it. Yeah. They humanized him.
Yes.
To where, like, he's just a regular guy like us.
Right.
And he's still an evil corporate warlord.
Right. Tech lord. It's a tech lord.
So maybe he's not, but that's what I thought about him before. And then he goes on Rogan, and I'm like, this is just a guy.
Like, I thought that I had the same feelings.
Damn it, I fell for it.
But I also had the same thoughts, like, well, how can I be sure? It's just 3 hours with him, and I just want to build technology to help people.
I just want to connect. Right. I just want to connect people.
I'm a goofball.
I like that. I like that, Zuckerberg.
It could be a PR stunt. It probably partially is. One time we went out to eat for Kimberly Jackson's birthday party. I don't know. She might have been 20, 21, early 20s. Reggie Jackson was there. And he sat across from me at the table. So I got to talk to Reggie Jackson during this dinner. And he's like, well, I'm having meetings this week with Google executives. I don't know how high. I don't know if it was Sergio, whoever it was. But he's like, but I'm having meetings to prepare myself for the meeting that I'm having with the Google people. With Google people.
Yeah,
and I was
like a mock interview almost.
I don't know.
Mock meeting.
I don't know. Just to like prepare him to talk to these guys because they're so important. I have no idea. The point is, it's like, I don't know what that level is like, that level of existence. I just know normal people. Right. I know myself and how I act and behave, and I know the people around me, and Everybody else is kind of like mythology, like myths about, I mean, I know some pretty wealthy people. I know a lot of the Crosslands, and they're pretty normal to me, pretty normal. Except for Colin. I don't know about him.
It's a different generation.
I'm just playing.
Do you have any cousins that are just like
Does he have any cousins?
like basic? You didn't let me finish.
Oh, sorry.
That are like basic Crossland manager, contractor.
Probably
a normal guy,
Probably.
normal humans.
Well, to talk about the Crosslands, one thing that they did to kind of stay in that normal, like we want to support, they stayed in Columbus, which is where they grew up. Like their dad, Grandpa Crossland, is from Columbus. And
Columbus is a nice spot. If you count like the country land,
yeah,
like the town is whatever, but like
it's
the
kinda
country
like a
land,
Baxter. It feels like a little bit of a Baxter type.
the country
feel.
is awesome out there.
Yeah, it is. It is nice. They have a little bit better. Well, they have a better Main Street area than Baxter. Like Baxter's is dead, but
They have a town square, a literal square.
That's what I mean. Like it's set up better than just the
stretch.
Yeah, 69 going through.
Like Baxter does they play on that like Route 66 stuff. So like they'll have not drags, but drag the
Right.
strip or whatever.
Yeah,
So I guess drags, not drag races, but like just driving
shows.
nice cars
Yeah.
to where like you couldn't really do it. You couldn't do that in Columbus. You're gonna drive around the
because
square.
you have the square.
Yeah,
Well, you can all park and meet up and then walk around.
I mean-
which I've done that
pros and cons. I
in
suppose.
Baxter, but they parked around the library.
Yeah,
And they had all the cool cars and the jewelry makers.
libraries. I was gonna say libraries nice because like you couldn't do that at the town square. You couldn't set up booths and stuff.
Right,
Like, that's
right.
a lot of people for a very centralized government spot thing.
Right.
Like city government or whatever.
Right.
Versus like public library. That's perfect.
Yeah.
and it's huge.
Yeah.
Like grassland and like places you could lay down a blanket and
Yeah.
chill or whatever.
I wish small towns would do more stuff like that. Like Cowtown Days. I'm pretty sure that, I've been to several Cowtown Days in the past few years. It's getting pretty good, I think it's getting better than what it was.
Yeah.
Partially because of the internet. People can
That's what I
exchange
was about to
ideas.
say. Social media.
Yeah, everybody can get synced up. That, and then just the barrier to entry to a lot of things. Like to get a event tent is a click on Amazon, right? To get the pop-up, to get tables and stuff, that's Sam's Club. It's very easy to attain the resources to like be legit in whatever you're doing. I know I can name 3 people off the top of my head that started food trucks.
Yeah.
That are successful, and they show up and they're good food.
Speaking of
Reasonable food.
gotta get some ghetto tacos after this or something.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's better and better. That's one of my this started last year with New Year's stuff. Rather than doing like New Year's goals, which I've always done, writing down the goals for the new year, I started doing intentions. So like it was actually after the podcast with what's Black Belt? Oh God, what's his name?
Eric
Devin.
Gagno.
No, Devin.
Oh,
Devin, because he was saying how important it is. He was talking jiu-jitsu class, how to set your intention. Because I was like, how do you get good fast? He's like, be intentional. When you drill intentionally.
dude, chess is jujitsu. It is.
Yeah.
That's it.
I think life is jiu-jitsu.
I mean,
right?
true, maybe.
Maybe once you see the way in one thing, you can see it broadly in all things.
It's like I can play all I want,
Right.
and I just hover around however good I am at the moment.
Yeah.
And then I watch a few videos of like, I need to get better. That's a couple small videos, like zero effort. Just
Yeah.
pay attention.
Right. Intention being attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just pay attention with the intent of progressing your game.
Right. Right.
And all of a sudden you go back and it's like, what?
Yeah.
All I did was next to nothing.
Yes.
I like this position.
Yeah. So you're still in frame.
That's right.
So I
was
write
cheating.
down
Fucking
intentions for the year, and one thing when I looked at my stuff, my goals, my intentions from last year, the thing that kind of spooked me was not many of them had changed, and I was like, oh shit, did I not make progress? Did I not like get to a new level? And thankfully, as I kind of thought about it, it was like, no, you just have more room, like you have more levels to go in these goals and these intentions that you wrote down. Inevitably, there was several more intentions that I wrote down. One of them being, dude, I need to be more involved in community. and not like local, not just local community, not like people like church or something or Cowtown Days, but just community. So the communities that I'm involved in, like what do I enjoy? Like, well, I enjoy crypto. I love that community. I don't want to just be I don't want to be doing crypto on my own computer and nobody else. Like, I want to be part of the crew. Like, I want to hang out with folks that do crypto, and I want to talk to them. Like, what are you guys doing? Same with Pokemon, same with martial arts, same with like all my stuff. Like, so hopefully I can figure out ways in 2023 to be more communal, like involved more open, because I can be pretty reclusive. I'm hoping that the content, like the YouTube vlogs and the videos and the TikToks and stuff that I make, hopefully that will help to cultivate, because Jordan Peterson had a quote one time. It's like, if you can't reveal yourself to yourself, you're not going to reveal it to the world. And it's like, okay, so let's get past the cringe.
That's the curator, though, is you don't have to reveal.
What do you mean?
You don't have to reveal yourself ever if you gather.
Oh, I see.
Other people's production for your audience.
Yeah.
But that's a side note, sorry, not to derail.
No. I don't know. I feel Michael Saylor one time, he's like, either you're going to be technical, if you're going to be in this, he was talking Bitcoin and crypto, either the road to be involved is technical, you're going to learn programming, you're going to learn something, like that, or you got to learn how to communicate. And that's, to me, I was like, wow, okay, well, I'm going to have to learn it. I think I'm already down that road of communicating and learning how to communicate through media, speaking, writing, video, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I just kind of want to run with that and be a part, because it's like you said, the internet is infinite and vastly infinite, I guess. And a lot of people on planet Earth think, oh, it's already been done. There's already enough YouTube channels. There's already enough podcasts. And it's like 99% of people do not utilize the internet the way that it could be utilized. But the 1% that do, they are the Gary V's, they are the Jockos, the Rogans, the people that we look up to, and the people we don't even know, like the people I follow on Twitter that have a Cardano NFT as their placeholder, but they are making content, putting themselves out there, and just a little bit that they do, they cultivate 5,000 followers, 10,000 followers, 100,000 followers, and they kind of make a career out of it, or they make some sort of sustainable structure, some sort of sustainable system to where they can exist. It's like, well, the only difference between the two of those is that one is making and producing consistently, and one isn't. One is just ingesting it rather than producing it.
Yeah, I look at the gaming thing of like, I guess the old argument is like, what, you want to watch somebody else play a game? And it's like, that's a majority of people. Like, I think
Really
there's more
is.
people that watch gaming than game.
Right.
And maybe that's time constraints and everything else, but I think they said what's the Super Bowl of gaming?
EA or
It's like a convention or something.
legal. I don't know.
Or maybe it's legal.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. There's like, I'm sure there's multiple, and here's how, whatever, uneducated I am on the subject, but it's like sports viewing, digital sports viewing has gone up like 150% from the last year. Like, it's growing insanely.
Right.
So like, there's an avenue. And then I think of Joe Kappa, that he does the stupid animations on Instagram. It's like the Scooby snack. Got those little Scooby snack.
Oh yeah.
The bad animation or whatever.
Yeah, so awesome.
I look at that and I'm like, thank God this guy,
Right.
or whoever, his team,
Right.
had this vision and brought it to life, because I get so much entertainment out of those.
Right.
That's Brad. I got a crush on Brad, or what,
Let me find this skiing joke I saw the other day.
So what's going on? Are you guys gonna hit the slopes this weekend? Like,
How's your dad doing?
yeah, he's good. Like, I don't.
This shit's purple.
So amazing. I could watch a series on that, and that could have been just another one of like, I don't even know what you take it as, like an Alley Cats or something of like, oh, we got this thing that we love and we joke around about and everything, but that's tip of the iceberg. It's not going anywhere after that.
Yeah.
It's like, thank God this guy in particular, did all that to where it's I find high entertainment out of it. It's amazing.
Joy, pure joy.
It's so funny.
Oh, we're so lucky to be under the stars tonight.
We really lucked out this weekend with the weather.
Dude, that's unbelievable.
It's so good. So, I mean, that's why I encourage people. Like, it might not be my cup of tea, but it's somebody's. Somebody.
Well, authenticity is, something that definitely pulls people in. Just, it might not be your kind of music or your kind of podcast or whatever, but if it's authentic, I think people enjoy it.
Yeah.
And integrity, people are definitely drawn to people of integrity that know themselves, that hey, this is who I am. Kind of like you with ATEC, but just people in general, like people just kind of go to you or like you or are drawn to you. It's because you have integrity inside and out. Like, your outside world matches your inside world. You're not selling cars, but have the internal philosophy of a monk, which is like, that's going to be very jarring and everyone's not going to understand.
Right.
It just goes to show that everybody out there has a unique perspective and has unique talents and it's like Adam said, no one's special because everyone is special. So you have to go in and find what is special about you. What sort of observation do you have upon the world? Like, and what sort of skills do you have that you could share with the world? And that's where the saying, the internet is the only place where you can have 8 million or 8 billion monopolies. It's because everyone's unique in some variation. Okay, there's people out there that look like you, talk like you, dress like you, maybe have the same thoughts. But if you go on that journey, that personal journey to find out who you are, and you go through those trials and you go through the pain, and at some point you come out and you are more of who you are, Casey or me or whoever, dude, that's going to show through in your content. That's going to show through. It's like, it is the example of, hey, let's all paint the sunset. Well, there's 10 different sunsets. It's the same thing. Whatever you're drawn to, if you're drawn to make a TV show, if you're drawn to make whatever this, animated, animated social media shorts or whatever, like, I'm not drawn to do that, but I'm highly thankful that this dude is, or this person or group, and I'm glad that they pursue that and they didn't go, this is so cringe, no one's going to watch this. They were courageous enough to go through, make it, and look, and now that's what they're able to do with their life.
Yep.
I always think of it as the pie scenario. Is there enough pie for everybody? Well, in the past, there wasn't. It's like legacy media. There was only so many movies made a year. So if you wanted to be an actor, you had to get a piece of that pie. And when that pie was all gone and every movie had been cast, there ain't no more pie. Mm-hmm. The internet's like a digital pie that just, the slice, it's like a slice and the slice doesn't move. It just goes and it's there. And then everyone gets a piece.
Like Plankton's digital meatloaf.
Exactly. But it actually tastes good,
Yeah.
But everyone can have a piece of the pie, and then when everyone's like, whoa, is there going to be enough pie left for everybody else? It's like, it never runs out.
Yeah.
It literally never. There's just going to be another pie coming down the pie train.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good to, I don't know if it's millennial. It's just people. But people in our day and age, you consistently have to do firmware updates on the world and try not to operate from a too outdated firmware position, because when I was a kid, this is what it was like. It's like, that's not, and it's so drastic. It's changed so much, so drastically that it's almost like every half year. You have to assess, like, okay, is this are the rules the same? Oh, the simulation updated 10 times. Shit, I got to do 10 updates.
I think that's something I've learned getting older, and then seeing like younger generation. Like, when you are the younger generation, you think that you're the only younger generation, and then you get older, and then there's another younger generation.
Right.
So getting older, there's part of that, and then it's like when I see somebody, middle school, high school, or whatever, it's like everything that I went through, you have no idea about.
Right.
Like, you don't have any clue.
Yeah.
But then it's also fascinating to see the similarities of, like, you've seen Tommy Boy? That was a 90s movie. Yeah. How have you seen that?
Yeah.
And, of course, like, as time goes by, there's going to be less and less of that. The strong ones are going to stay hold, whether everybody knows George Washington was the first president.
Right.
There's these things that, like, every generation forever is going to know.
Like constants. societal constants.
Societal constants of, I guess, public school, honestly, is a lot of it. But like, when you have a conversation with somebody about something that you experienced, say in middle school, they weren't even alive yet, and now they know about it. I find that kind of fascinating. Of like, somewhere down the line, you discovered this, or we're gifted this, or whatever.
Yeah.
And man, one at work was music from a different guy, to where it's like they're listening to like Nelly and Akon. I heard some Akon, of like sending me back to the past of like, what are we listening to? And then you do the time frame,
Right.
and I'm in middle school, they're in whatever, kindergarten or first grade. It's nostalgia for them.
Right.
It's really strange. Of like, I go to my 7th grade middle school dance.
Homecoming dance.
Yeah, homecoming dance. This is, when I hear this music, that's what I think of.
Right.
They are thinking like, I don't know, trips to school or something.
Right.
Like nostalgia.
Right.
True nostalgia of a childhood. It's like, well, that's really weird. So then, like kids today, when they're 25, they're going to be playing old school Cardi B and like, I don't even know these. I saw a Snapchat little story thing that was like, what is so-and-so like in real life? Like, who is so-and-so? I don't even know who this is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm so disconnected. But I'm not mad about it. But
Right.
it's just like, it's crazy how, each one of these beings growing up is completely different. A completely different set of parents, completely different, household struggle or whatever. We had to go back to back just to stay warm at night. And it's like, everybody else has their own struggles,
Right,
It's really interesting. And then those particular struggles are what makes you who you are, and, makes you, that was Conan's famous graduation speech of your failure to become your hero is what makes you your own.
So good.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So, everybody's got a different vantage point, and, I think as humans or whatever, probably as social creatures, honestly, it's like the negative hits really hard. So, you got 10 people that say, good job, and my destructive ass is like, I don't believe you. It's like,
Right.
You're trying to hype me up for some reason. I don't know why.
Right.
But, it's probably good to believe them. But then one negative of like, this is stupid as shit. And it's like, yeah, it is.
Right.
It is. I'm done.
Rather than to think you're just trying to bring me down.
Well, rather than think like, I don't believe you.
Right.
And I believe the 10 other people that are,
Right.
really praising me or whatever. So it's a tough one, man. I don't know. I'm not. It's like the advice giver never takes their own advice kind of thing is sometimes how I feel.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
I can talk to anybody about just about anything.
Yeah.
Like we can go deep. Like let's go deep. I'm comfortable, but I'm not going to go deep. Unless I want to.
Right.
But like, if you're going deep, I'll go there with you. But that doesn't mean that like I'm going deep with me as well, unless I have to, kind of thing.
Almost like I'm going to project an avatar to go deep with you, but my personal soul's going to stay up here.
Right. I'm not.
I'll send the drone down.
I mean, sometimes that's just like a matter of trust or something. It's
Right.
like, if it's me and you or me and Wed or something, like, all right, I'll go with you. But
Right.
if it's somebody that's like, I just need a listening ear or whatever, it's like, all right, I can do that. But I'm going to like take care of myself while we're doing this. I'm not going to be vulnerable with you, kind of thing. But I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. It's easy to give advice, I guess. And I think a lot of people are good at giving advice, but it's tough to take it.
Yeah.
Or take your own advice, I should say.
Mm-hmm. Tough to take your own advice. Tough to act on your, I guess, take your own advice, act on your own, the same thing. I have noticed that probably within the past 2 years, like everybody I talk to and everything that I tell them, like that's what I'm supposed to do. It's like, I don't know, almost like Jonah. He's like telling everybody to, is it Jonah? Where he's like telling people to go somewhere and then he has to go? Maybe not. Maybe that's not the right reference point, but.
I don't know, but it's the same as, what are we talking about? Advice and taking it and, it's the same as like, I look at somebody's situation and I'm like, look how obvious that is.
Right.
You know, like
that's human nature.
completely, this is what you do,
Right.
and then it'll be fixed. And you're probably right.
Right.
But then that same person can look back at you and be like,
Yeah.
why are you, it's like, all you have to do is this, or
Yeah.
stop doing this, and,
Yeah.
and then your problem is solved. And
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, to the doer, it's a lot more difficult because you have to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
Or you have to negate, you have to not do.
Right.
Whichever one, you know.
Right.
Look at an overweight person, it's like, just stop eating. Like, yeah, that's easy to say.
Yeah. I had a session, a writing session. It's been probably several months, but I just remember because it was so potent. It was, it's like I can solve everybody else's problems, but I cannot solve my own. Why? And I had to explore this idea of like, why can I not solve my own? Why am I struggling so freaking much about something that is not that trivial? I'm just looking for success in the standards that I'm putting up for myself. Why can I not achieve this? Why can I not set up a system some way, somehow to reflect the world that I want and to acquire the resources and the status that I want? That's it. That's all I'm looking for. So is that too hard to ask? That too much to ask? But framing in that sense of anyone that brings me their problem, I bet you I could probably figure it out. You know, I could figure out maybe not the best solution. I can figure out a solution.
Yeah.
But then I present myself with a problem, with an issue, with a challenge, and it's like I can't. I'm too close to it, or I don't. It hurts too much to move. I don't know.
It kind of goes back to the NFL talk of like rigged games and stuff. And I saw a comment that's like, if you don't watch as a fan and you just watch as an observer, you're going to see a lot more stuff that's quite suspect.
Looking rigged.
Right. But you're looking as a fan. So it's like, oh, it was a bullshit call or whatever. And it's
Right.
like, look in the bigger, like,
Right.
take a step back and
Right.
look. And then it's not going to be a bullshit call. It's going to be Cincinnati's supposed to win this game or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, it's
right. Clearly, the events are pointing towards this outcome.
right. But you're too close in because you're
Right.
invested and you're
You're going play by play.
personal fan of the team and
Yeah.
you know whatever else, rather than what's the script, like
Yeah.
read the script and see
Right.
what's supposed to happen, and then these things make a lot more sense. And I guess there's just a similarity there of like, get out of your own bullshit, get out of your own life, you know, like take a step back, try to find a different, and dude, maybe that is take some drugs, you know,
That's my first thought.
take some drugs out. Oh, I don't do that. Take morality away from it.
Right.
Do away with the morality of is a good drug or is a drug good or bad,
Right.
and figure it out from there, and see where that gets you. You know, like what's the worst that can happen? There is a few that you might get stuck.
You can get lost.
That's
in
not
the,
good.
in the void.
But if you're responsible with it, like it's just like mitigating any
Right.
situation. When you get in your car, what do? You put on your seatbelt.
Right.
You know, are you going to get in a wreck? Probably not. But you're
Right.
going to put on a seatbelt.
Yep.
So same when you're doing. I'm speaking on hallucinogens. Like same with that. Like put on your seatbelt. What are you doing? You're still going to take your trip, but
Yeah.
at least your seatbelt's on.
Well, we have so much information and such a guideline anymore on how to,
Yeah,
on how to
it's
do
truly
these
a
things.
guideline.
Yeah, I mean, there are entire communities dedicated to doing those substances successfully, you know,
Yeah.
and using them to their full benefit rather than let's see what happens, which might be how it used to work, and some benefit probably came from that.
I was thinking that with drinking. It's like our parents did not drink.
Yeah.
Definitely, like, from what I know, not behind closed doors and definitely not in front of us. So, like,
Right.
neither. They weren't even hiding it because there was none.
Right.
You know, it's like there was none. Well, nobody ever taught me how to drink responsibly.
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
So then when I drink and I look around at like, all right, he's drinking, what are they doing? They're raging. They are not like mad,
Right.
like just party raging.
Right.
So what am I going to do? That's what I'm going to do. So
Right.
then you just bottoms up instead of like, you know, pretty much where I am now. If I drink, it's like casual. Oh, now I'm going to enjoy my buzz for a little while.
Yeah.
Oh, we're still drinking 2 hours later. Well, I'm probably, you know, more intoxicated, but it's a nice gradual slope,
Right.
and not just straight balls to the walls.
Right. Here's how to negate or to negotiate this substance.
Yeah.
Here is how to utilize this behavior.
So it's one of those things of like, it's like introducing an invasive species. It solves one problem, but it
Right.
creates another.
Yeah.
So it's like I never saw alcohol growing up,
Yeah.
but it created another problem.
Right.
I don't get to see how adults are supposed to
Right.
interact while under
That's-
the influence.
It's weird you bring that up because Kelsey and I think it was last night, we're talking about our engagement in sex while we were growing up in the structure of the church. So I was thinking like, wow, I wish I would have done more. Like I was so abstinent minded. I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to be, I'm a good Christian. I'm a soldier of God. And I didn't do as much as I wish I would have done at this point. She was the opposite. She's like, I kind of wish I would have waited or whatever, which was a weird dynamic, you know? But again, we arrived at the same spot to where it was like, nobody said shit about us besides don't do it, which was exactly the same thing as the alcohol in my situation and your situation. It's not how to do alcohol. It's don't even touch, don't even think about doing it. Our society has a lot of alcohol, a lot of places where alcohol is going to be around. It's socially acceptable. It's not some people can't handle it. We'll find out.
It's good to find that
It's
out.
good to find out, right? But there's ways to do that safely. Same with the sex. It's like, you gotta, I mean, it's a difficult process with teens and sex and everything. Okay. I get it, but there's gotta be some sort of conversation to set it up. And I blame a lot of religion for warping my mind at that age. It might have protected me, but it also, again, it's like, were you protected from the alcohol for a while you were, but then it created a new problem. That's the same. Maybe, was I protected from teen pregnancy? Yeah. It created a new problem, though, down the road with struggling with porn or whatever. It's just the give and take of, and once again, swapping energy is, you just don't know how.
But to say there's not a right or wrong. So, you know, next universe over, we grow up, mom and dad are, they enjoy their casual drinks. They're responsible with it. They let us have a sip at the dinner table here and there, like introduce it to us, whatever. Now I'm a lifelong alcoholic.
Could be.
And I am not an alcoholic right now. I enjoy my nights of boozing, but
because you're
pretty few and far between, to be honest. Like I'm not the kind of guy to get off work, go home and have a beer. Like that's just not me. So it's like, you say, well, the solution is this. Well, that just creates another fucking head to the whatever the three-headed monster is.
The
Hydra. So it's tough to say like a right or wrong. It's just, hey, this is the reality of what happened.
Right.
Here's how it happened. Here's what happened in that reality, and this is what we have to live with now. Instead of what if only.
Oh, bro, that's a very dangerous. It's as dangerous as conspiracy theories are great. You can make a conspiracy out of anything. It's almost like a thought process that you apply to a situation, and you go, wait a minute, this connects over here and this connects here. I'm not saying that conspiracies aren't real. There's a bunch of them that are, but it's almost as if there is an algorithm, like the conspiracy algorithm. You just take it and you apply it, and you'll find connections, and you'll find enough to where you're like, there's more here. It's like, that's just how the human mind kind of works. The same is with that phrase that you just said, if only, if this would have occurred. Like, dude, you will get lost in that mindset of wishing, hoping, wanting that there was a different situation. It never will occur. The only change that you can make, like physically and mentally and emotionally, spiritually, is in the present moment. So if there was something in the past that affected you, to affect it, you can only affect it in the present by changing yourself in the present, which eventually will affect your future.
Well, which is tons of acceptance as well.
It might be.
Well, you have to accept it first before you say, this is where I am now, and how am I going to do
this happened. I can't change it. This is what occurred. What can I do now? I think about that a lot with, I wish we would have had a little bit more disciplined upbringing, like piano lessons. I wish I would have been like, you got to do something to be better. Piano lessons, computer programming, anything I want to learn now. But then I think about, well, we had a very free childhood, and that's given me different skills.
And I wasn't interested back then. I didn't want to learn piano back then.
Yeah.
So what are you supposed to do? Force it, and then I hate piano?
Maybe.
I mean, and then I live with that, and that's fine.
But maybe at age 22, when you're like great at piano, you think, man, I'm really glad that you forced me to do piano lessons.
In the what if realm, if that's your argument.
I can get out. I can play around for a little bit, because I've gotten stuck there thinking, oh, if I only would have, if grandpa and grandma would have showed me a little computer programming back in the day, because they had the computers, then I'd be more proficient. It's like, okay, it didn't happen. Do you want to learn computer programming? Do it now, fucking idiot. Like, do it now. Don't spend time in the universe of what if. That's just mental masturbation. Apply it now if you really want to learn it.
Masturbation's way better. It's the same. I think the must be nice argument is the exact same. Must be nice being able to spend all that money.
Right.
Yeah, I sacrificed a lot of shit.
Right.
I did a lot of stuff for this money.
Yeah.
Or what, one example of many. But I love the must be nice people.
Must be nice to be able to lift weights all day.
Yeah.
I've seen that on Instagram models like that they're exercise models or fitness models. Must be nice. I saw a guy, dude. I've never forgot it. I don't know who he was. Instagram fitness model. He said, the guy came up to him and goes, "You know what? If I could lift all day and not have a job to go to and everything, I'd look just like you." He goes, "No, you wouldn't. You'd sleep in.
Yeah.
You'd play Xbox. You'd procrastinate. You'd say, I'll lift tomorrow. You wouldn't put your protein out. You wouldn't meal prep. You wouldn't lift as hard as I did. I've sacrificed all that and disciplined myself to get here. It's not because I don't have a job. It's because I made this my calling. Yeah. I made this my ambition." And I was like, whoa.
I have to agree with it.
That is powerful. I used to do that with Red Oak. I'd say, I work 3 days a week. I can't do the things I want to do. It's preventing me from being a writer. It's preventing me from doing a YouTube channel. I haven't had a real job, like a societal job, for 5 years now. And the first 2 is like, I still didn't do those things, even though the serving job was no longer there. It's
right.
like, it's you. It's always been you.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the job. It's not the situation. It's just you. If you want to do it, you will find a way.
Yep.
If you want something, you will say, I'm not going to do this. I'm going to stay up later. I'm going to get up earlier. I'm going to give up this because I want this so bad. It's just excuses. Oh, my job keeps me from doing that. Oh, my family, I shouldn't have kids at such an early age. I can't do that. It's just you and how you've structured yourself and how you've structured your desires and how you want to get them.
I don't know. The family one is like, I've seen enough teen pregnancies. You'll be all right. Like, you can figure it out. Whatever that case is, not you in particular, just like people.
You've seen people figure it out, you mean?
Yeah, I mean, like, who's prepared to have a child at 16? Happens all the time.
Yeah.
And guess what? They're just fine. They work 3 jobs and whatever else, but like they make it happen.
Yeah.
Then
I always thought that was
kid
a nail
makes
in
it to the
coffin,
NFL and they never work again.
Right.
Just kidding.
I always thought that was a nail in the coffin. You had a teen pregnancy, you might as well jump off a bridge. But 2 of my best friends made it happen.
Yeah, and like live a good life from it, like whatever. Enjoy their life and like
altered their life for sure. Altered their choices. I think
a lot of stuff dies, but a lot of stuff is like growing.
Yep.
It's like it's not just a barren wasteland. It's like, no, that path is now blocked.
Right.
You can't do that. But this path is wide open.
And
take a hike.
I think that's a good observation. Like the way that you're removing your body, I think a lot of people, maybe myself, would have got caught in like the wasteland. Like, look at all the death. Look at all the things I've lost. My dreams. And it's like, dude, there's a jungle behind you.
Right.
There's a freaking oasis.
There's a waterfall.
Yeah. No, but over here,
Yeah.
like, dude, you gotta change your observation. Like, come on.
And then some people live in the wasteland.
That's right. They get stuck
They
there.
live there. Like, no.
There's a lot of humidity behind me, but I'm not gonna turn around.
Yeah.
Which goes back to just you can have an experience and then the jungle will be all around you. What are some of your 2023 goals, intentions, like visions, like what do you got in store?
I'd like to make money off the internet.
Yes,
That's
that'd be cool.
Very vague, and I kind of like it vague. I had some lifting goals, but I think I'm going to back up on that. Like, I don't know. There's been a lot of stuff like come up and die. And it's kind of nice because then you just don't have to worry about it anymore. And it's like, I just want to be fit. Like, I did kind of want to go, like, not bodybuilding, but I wanted to be the freak to walk in and be like, holy shit. And then I see, like, have you seen, who's that? He used to be he's a black guy. He's a power lifter.
Like an Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah. Well, I think
Jerry or Terry Combs or it's like an airy name.
Maybe
Terry Carey.
I don't think he was a
like a bodybuilder.
I don't think he was a I think he was like an actual strongman lifter. Maybe not. but maybe like a Jay Cutler who was like an Arnold. You know who Jay Cutler is?
Yeah.
He was like an Arnold. Because Arnold was like 80s,
Yeah.
and he had like the best body ever. But then,
Other
like
people.
steroids kept going, and they just got like ridiculously huge.
They are insane.
Well, now they can like barely walk. They
Yeah.
can barely lift.
Yeah.
And so like there's an argument that lifting actually breaks down your body.
To a point, right?
But that's, that kind of like almost slammed on the brakes for me because it's just like, dude, this guy's like using a walker and he's like in his 60s.
Yeah.
Or something like.
Well, but also I've seen, I saw a TikTok the other day where it was a 70-year-old woman, never lifted in her life. I mean, a twig, a leaf in the wind. And it showed her progress, and she was deadlifting, I don't know, 100, 200 pounds or something.
Probably because she has never done it. She's fresh.
True, but I think it made her better. And I think if you're lifting, I have no idea. If you're lifting like a bodybuilder to an extent of that level, yeah, it's probably going to break your body down.
So that's I guess what I'm getting to is like I want to be fit. I want to be strong. I think I've kind of like maxed my max strength. I think the bell curve is like if I'm not at the top now, I've already been at the top,
Right.
and I'm heading down the other side. But like that's a lot of maintenance. That's a lifelong thing. I'm not saying I'm done working out. I'm just saying like
At that level or at that
the actual
type
getting stronger,
Yeah.
the lifting to lift more is probably kind of over. So I had like some max goals that I don't think like that'll transition into probably like jiu-jitsu blue belt, maybe,
Yeah.
that is probably what that'll evolve into because I still want fitness. But I guess my point was these things have come up of like, I want to be a power lifter. No, I don't.
Right.
So that's nice.
Well, part of you might have wanted to, but
Right.
then you made the decision like,
But then some things happened, and then you learn more information. It's
Right.
like I don't want to do that. I want to be generally fit.
Yeah.
I want to be in good shape. I've had multiple people tell me this year. I'll tell them I'm 29, and they're like, "You don't look 29."
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? Because I pretty much abused my 20s.
Yeah.
So now, A, rectify, but B, like use what you got going on.
Yeah.
You might as well ride it out as long as you can. Not like I have no problem aging. Like I think if you have a problem aging, you should probably figure that one out because
you can't stop that.
yeah, right, yeah.
Maybe for $80 million.
Unless you have 80 million, then maybe. But I don't have 80 million, unfortunately.
Dang it.
So yeah, I just want to like be generally healthy. But that'll probably go into your question or whatever of goals and everything. It'll probably be like something jujitsu.
See, that's not to interrupt, but that's where the intentions came for me because I really couldn't establish clear, like very good goals. Like I have to be able to lift 400 pounds.
Right.
I was like, I want to be more disciplined, but going to the gym and actually being fit. Same with jujitsu. Like I want to be more consistent with my classes. That's my intention, rather than like a defined goal. It's helped me. I do have defined goals, like. Certain things that I said, this is failure and this is success, but then I have these intentions that maybe I can't actually define a goal, but it's like a trajectory and a to a place I'd want to be, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's more of what I'm at too. Is just trajectory, and it's a lot of. I've been working 60-hour weeks, so it just takes a lot out of you, and I have been working a job that can't really. You got to be at work. You can't be somewhere else.
Right.
Like I've worked jobs, factory jobs in particular. That's like you can kind of be wherever else you
Right.
want. I used to have a notebook and listen to podcasts and take notes, and like none of that where I've been. So 60 hours of your head somewhere else. Investing it in something else that is not future driven for me is very much like present day driven, which
Right.
I'm not after anymore. That was all my 20s was not instant gratification. but,
YOLO.
I mean, very much live like you're going to die tomorrow. Well, that's not very good if you're going to be around tomorrow. So a lot of it's reframing.
Yeah.
A lot of it's refocusing. But I'll tell you, I have these interests that come up, which is if your interests don't make you unique, I really don't know what does. It's like I think the interests are what define your uniqueness to a point, to a big point, to a majority point. You are your interests. And so like the interests that stick around, such as chess, it's like there's something there. And I'm not going to be a grandmaster or anything like that. But it's like,
I agree.
man, I get so much joy out of it.
Yeah.
And like, I am hungry for more information on chess, on how to be a better chess player. It is strictly like the dopamine hit of a win, I think, which is probably not good or maybe sustainable, but we'll see. It's like, if I'm still hungry for it, then I'm going to, continue to strive after it. And I'm still hungry for it.
Right. To clarify, I agree with, not that you're not going to be a grandmaster, because I said it like right after that, but I agree that your interests, whatever those are, why you're pulled to them, gravitationally pulled to them, like there's something there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is sometimes, but it's like, go. There's something there for you.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, there's something there for you. So there is that. I have a few piano songs. I have zero piano anything. My grandma played piano. That's about as close to the piano as I've ever gotten. And I have a little electric piano that the great Julian Hudson gifted me. Well, he was throwing it away, and I and I took it off his hands. But still, I give him the credit.
Yeah.
And so I got a little something to start with. So I'd like to learn piano. I think what I've been jealous of musically is the flow state. I think a musical flow state, I've never experienced it. I've never been in there. I'm sure Alex dives in all the time, but I've never been able to. I think a musical flow state, even from like knowing a song, I guess the closest I've gotten to probably a flow state in music is like Guitar Hero or this new Oculus drum song thing.
Right.
That's like, man, you just like get into it and you're nowhere else. You're just, right at them. You're like so in the moment. So I can only imagine a musician has that often. And piano is like my number. I am in love with the piano.
Really?
Like just like I am like a chessboard. There's just a aesthetic, a beauty to it, or a chess position. Something about keys on a piano, and the sound it makes. Something there for me, So it's like, all right, that's something I want to pursue. So this is a long answer for physicality.
Yeah.
And I was at the gym the other day, dude. I was just like, so unmotivated, so undriven. And I know it's like, that's not discipline. Discipline's its own thing. And it's like, yeah, I get it. But I was like borderline miserable. I do not want to lift this weight. I have no desire to. I'm strong enough, kind of like. So I think that's where the physicality is still there. That's one of the, not lessons or whatever, but it's one thing I came back from my pilgrimage was physicality is very important.
Yeah.
So it's still there. It's just not lifting weights. And that's going to transition to jiu-jitsu and like overall in yoga. Jiu-jitsu and yoga are two I want to hit really hard and then throw in a little bit of lifting in there. Boom, physicality, done for, or whatever. Like I got that taken care of. I don't got to think about it.
Right.
It's just go to class, go to yoga, do whatever.
Man, we need to do some yoga.
I've been wanting to text Ben, but I don't want to bother him.
Oh, dude, do it.
But be like, when is the studio opening up? Because last time I was over there helping, he poured the concrete for his HVAC, and he said that's going to be for the whole thing, but like can't really do yoga in there with no HVAC. Right. So it's like, all right, we're getting closer.
I think they're living in their Airbnb in Baxter, like right up the road from you, that yellow house.
I haven't seen them.
I think that. Oh, they're living on the Main Street one.
They're living in the Main Street one.
Yeah,
I was gonna say like
1025 or whatever it is.
I've walked to get groceries a few times, and I never see anybody there. I drive by, and I never see anybody there.
Yeah, no, they're on Military till she texted me today. Tiffany texted me today. I think till end of February.
Well, hopefully his is coming because that was one like I'll pay him, like I'll support however I can, kind of thing. Like I would like him to do that because I trust him and go in, feeling good or whatever.
Oh yeah,
stuff like that. Of like I don't know. The other one she canceled all the time and all that stupid shit that pisses me off.
Yeah.
But, so anyway, so physicality. Chess for whatever reason, like that's just I would consider that almost like my hobby.
Yeah.
It's just I really enjoy it. I have a good time playing. And then piano. I think that's like the big three. Other than that would be content. I'd like to produce content. A mixture between YouTube and TikTok. And that's just starting, that's just kind of where I am now. And there's a lot of doing in that, and that involves editing, which I enjoy. I don't love, but I enjoy it. So like make me a better editor and maybe Truly, the only reason I want an audience is
Freedom.
ad revenue.
Yeah, freedom.
Truly. Other than that, if it was like, you know, somebody said they're going to pay me $5,000 to walk to Florida or something, like, I'm in. I don't need anybody to follow me. I don't need any camera crew. Documenting it literally takes more effort. If I could just be, I don't need an audience.
Yeah.
The only reason I want an audience, and maybe this will come back and bite me in the ass someday, but like the only reason I want an audience is eyeballs on my page, you know, kind of thing.
It's like a paradox where you're being authentic, but you're being authentic to a point where it's like, I'm not authentic anymore.
Right. And that was kind of my pilgrimage of like, nothing in me. I don't know. The pilgrimage was different, I guess, but yeah, essentially it's almost a paradox of like, I want to be reclusive, but I have to include everybody. Like,
Right, yeah.
How the heck does that work?
Yeah, right.
So I don't know. I'm just living. Sometimes I try not to have a plan because that kind of takes you out of the present into where it's like, you know what? Not all my dreams have come true, but I still enjoy waking up in the morning, and I still enjoy, you know, just seeing friends. And like a lot of it is kind of through COVID, which we didn't get to talk about. That's fine. You know, through COVID, through some of the stuff that we have lived through in our life, it's like, you know what I can do? You know what's guaranteed today? That I can have a good day today.
Yeah.
That I can enjoy. I was telling Mom, you know, it's like, enjoy getting in your car and going and like your commute.
Yeah.
Just enjoy it. Like
Right.
make a conscious effort to say like, I'm enjoying driving this vehicle.
Right.
I'm enjoying walking into this store. Look at those automatic doors that just opened up.
Yeah.
Stupid shit. Like just
Oh, yeah.
enjoy it.
I did one the
And
other
it's
day.
actually a pretty good life.
Oh, 100%. I did one the other day with the dryer. I opened the dryer. I was like, I cannot believe that this dryer works as good as it does. I put my hands in. I'm like, oh, everything's ready to be folded. Like, I mean, I really had like a spiritual moment with, thank God this dryer fucking works. And it just keeps doing what it's supposed to do. It's broken before, but every time it works, oh my God, thank you. My fridge, it works. There's cold food in there. I had a big one when it was one single digits outside, and I walked out, put the chickens up, cold as hell, walked in the house, just it was wrapped in this warmth. I just like, why are you kidding me? I'm in a warm house. How? I don't know how this works, but thank God. So yeah, I totally agree.
I feel like you gotta force it at first, but like
Sometimes it feels silly.
it'll come natural.
Right?
Like, give it time.
Yeah, it feels silly to love a dryer or something.
And like it's okay to have to remind yourself to enjoy things. You know,
Yeah.
It's like that's okay. You can think that. You can intentionally like, oh, I'm supposed to be enjoying this. That's okay. That's good. Like it prompts you to do
Right.
to do good. I
Yeah.
don't know, but like. I don't know. Too many people, and I used to be like I used to be pretty nihilistic. It's like too many people hate their lives, and
Yeah.
it's like it doesn't take a whole lot to like enjoy small
Right.
bits of it, and then small bits add up.
That's your life. Small bits become your life. That was one of Adam's pieces of advice for marriage. He's like, you're going to find yourself, you know, supposed to be doing something. Like we're supposed to kiss when we leave, and then you'll feel repulsed by that because of human nature, because like we're supposed to do this. He's like, do it. Do what you're supposed to do, because the other side is you don't get to do it, and then you miss out, and then, you know, but I thought it was good advice.
Yeah, or it's taken from you, and you wish you would have kind
Right.
of thing.
Well, it makes me think of Jordan Peterson talking about, you know, how are you treated when you come home from work from your family? Because you probably should get that in line first before you try to do other things, because you do that every day, and it's 10 minutes of your day. 10 minutes times 365 days a year times 80, 90 years of your life. That's your life. Find the things in your life that are your life, that are repeated over and over and over again, and try to perfect those,
Right.
rather than some grand scheme or whatever to alter your life to make it better. Just make you coming home from work in that situation as best as possible.
Yeah.
Hug your wife, kiss your kids, you know, play with your dog, whatever. And you've talked about this recently. Is like, you don't watch TV as much. when you eat your food.
Oh, right.
You have your dinner or your lunch, and you just have it with your food, and you look at your food, you experience it, and when you're eating, and when you're done, you go about your day, rather than watching TV and just shovel it in your mouth. And
Next thing you know, you look down, your plate's gone.
Right.
And you're like, what do I even have?
Yeah,
Am I still hungry? Did
Right.
I even taste that?
Right.
I mean, I swear, I promise you, viewer or listener, if you pay attention to your food as you eat it, it will taste so much better. Like
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
That, and I've thought about this a lot. I think my number one pet peeve, and it happens a lot. I think my number one pet peeve is when you're eating a meal and somebody is talking about a different meal. It makes me so upset. I mean, not really, but like it just really bothers me when you're eating like a high quality meal.
Right.
Do you remember when we were at that place in California and they had, like eating whatever else awesome meal?
Right.
Now, if you're eating a bag of dog shit and you want to reminisce on like a good meal, okay, well, I'll give that a pass. But when you're eating a good meal and you're talking about a different good meal, dude, I want to fucking break pins or something. I don't know.
Stab you with a steak knife.
Oh, it drives me crazy.
What if you're-
and it happens a lot.
What if you're making like a comparison? Like, remember we had something similar at this restaurant.
I mean, I get there's like time and place and circumstance. I'll leave that. But usually it's reminiscing on how good that meal was
Compared
while
to
you're
what?
having a good meal.
Yeah.
It's like,
having sex and be like, one time.
yeah, like you remind me of this girl in high school.
Right.
What the fuck?
Exactly.
What the hell? Anyway.
The deviled eggs are like, am I not good enough?
Yeah. Like this is a great meal that we're having right now, but you'd rather think about, because it just pulls you out and takes you somewhere else.
Right.
Same as watching TV while you eat or whatever. And
Well, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, well, yeah, one of these days I would like to host a silent dinner.
Oh, yeah.
For that kind of similar thing of like, you don't talk. We'll have hand gestures to pass the salt and everything else, but like nobody talks. And then we'll put all the plates up, whatever else, just get the table cleared and then kind of break the silence and then
That'd be crazy.
talk about whatever you want to talk about.
Yeah.
Talk about the meal or whatever, but as you eat, silence.
Yeah. That'd be a very interesting experiment. Be very I would find it very difficult. I'm already anxious around people with food, and now I can't talk.
I think it would be almost psychedelic. I think it would mess with our brains because, like, I don't know. I would say noises are okay. You can cough, you can sneeze, you can laugh. I don't know about that because that's sending a message.
Right. So there's no communication of any sorts.
No audible communication. I mean, yeah. I see, because I would almost think like signing or something would be all right.
Right.
Like not actual. Did you see the game last night?
Right.
Like, not that, but like.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever. Like, I would think that would be okay, but audible communication is off the table.
Huh.
And then you just have your meal, and then you talk afterwards. But have you heard if you make eye contact with someone for like 8 minutes or something, you start to hallucinate?
No.
You never heard that?
8 minutes?
I think it's like prolonged eye contact, and the face will start to distort and become something that it is not.
That usually happens before 8 minutes for me.
Probably
because my eyes.
I think it's like
fucked up.
8 or 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
It's a certain amount of time, but it's eye contact too.
Yeah.
To where it's like you could look at a wall and it's going to stay a wall.
Right.
But it's something with eye contact.
We should try that.
I would try it in a mirror first, but I think
You would break the simulation.
it's something. Yeah. It's something about how the face will like distort and become alien or something, like become something that is not a face. So I would almost think that my prediction, which I don't know, it's just you and I. So, I assume it'd be close friends
right.
around this table, but it's like, I think we would break and like laugh hysterically. Is what
Like a psychedelic laugh.
Yes.
Yeah. I could see that.
That would be my prediction of just howling laughter of like, what the
Yeah.
fuck are we doing right now?
I bet it
What
would.
is going on?
I bet it would.
Unlike anything else we've ever experienced, as simple as not talking during dinner.
Right.
To break something in us.
Right.
That would be my prediction. It might not happen. It might be a really boring 15 minutes of just sitting there eating.
Right. And that was my first thought is, man, it would be so long. We would sit there forever. Like dinners really aren't, you don't eat for like long periods of time.
Well, and talking extends dinner.
Yeah.
Because you got to stop. Well, then, put your forks down and then
Right.
tell your story or
Right.
whatever.
Right.
Which is partially why I don't know. Not that I don't enjoy talking over dinner because it's a great time. Like,
Yeah.
when else are you going to be sitting
Right.
with that opportunity? But it takes away from what's going on, which is your meal. But
Mm-hmm.
eating communally is so much bigger than me. Like we're talking thousands of years of
Human history.
communal eating.
Animal history, really.
That's why I say communal,
Yeah.
just as a community eating
Right.
together and sharing the food and everything. So it's like, I really have no authority on speaking on that. And it's just such a good opportunity to have some conversations. So I can't take it away, but it does take away from the meal, which is, I think the best meal, the best tasting meal is probably the one eaten alone with no distraction. Yeah, that's my theory. Versus, I'm digging into these mashed potatoes and they're buttery and salty and so good. Hey, Casey, tell me what? And you pull me out and I gotta.
What about this? What if it was, a group of people, but the intention was to experience the dinner together? So the food is served and it's not someone brings up a subject way over here, like tells, Damar Hamlin or whatever, we got to talk about him. It's like, no, that's not dinner. But what if it was the conversation and the experience was communal, whereas like, Casey, did you try the eggs? I don't know. Let me try them. Oh, I taste the garlic. If you were experiencing it together and you were all in it, that might be good too.
I mean, I almost see that as like a whiskey tasting though. It's like, now we all grab the,
It doesn't have to be
18-year.
It doesn't have to be so synchronized.
Right.
But if the conversations were kind of kept to the experience itself,
Yeah.
maybe that would enhance.
No,
and,
I don't hate it.
yeah,
I like it.
because so many times what's happening is there's a subject being, what'd you do today? Well, that was today. We're at the dinner table, and that's taking away from where we are right now versus.
Yeah, and then if somebody takes pride in their cooking and their I don't know, meal preparation or whatever.
Yeah.
I think of your wife.
Yeah.
And it's like, it'd be nice to talk about that.
Right.
It'd be nice so if everybody brought a dish or something,
Right.
then it'd be nice to be like, all right, no, let's try this one now.
Yeah.
Or I don't know how that'd work, but something along the lines of, talking about the food.
I mean, your point being, what I'm taking is just being present. If you are present with what you're doing, which goes back to what I was saying about being intentional, you're intentional with your learning chess, you're intentional with doing jiu-jitsu, you're intentional with your time and your focus. It's going to be directed in a more progressive manner, a more beneficial manner. I'm thinking of over the holiday break, I watched a lot of TV without my phone. Unbelievable. Can you believe it? I had the greatest time being watching this TV without my phone, without the distraction, right? What are we going to watch tonight? We're going to watch some Pokemon. Okay. Phone's over here. I lean back. There's nothing else. I'm not even snacking or whatever. I'm just intentionally giving my attention to this one thing. It was great. It was awesome.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. My head wasn't spinning from two screens looking at me or whatever. And I remembered a lot more, of course, because I have my stream of consciousness is one direction. And so to your point, I think just being present can enhance the moment drastically. It kind of seems vague. It kind of seems like, yeah, duh. You're present. Yeah, of course you're going to enjoy it.
Well, I think there's like little splinters that people don't associate with something small like being or I shouldn't say small, like
Something simple.
simple, to where it's like, I got all these splinters on me, but I'm gonna ignore it or whatever. And it's like, well, if you were intentional, if you were observant, if you were small things, it's like, yeah, duh. It's like, yeah, duh, but you're not doing it.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Duh, but take the splinters out of your arm.
Right. How do I stop the pain? Take the splinters out. Yeah, duh. I figured that. Like, then why aren't you doing it?
Yeah, then do it.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I think like probably why I'm so bothered by all that is because of my history of mindless eating. You know, it's just like, keep on eating, the movie's not over. It's like, finish your plate.
Right.
Formulate a game plan, you know, like not reconcile, renegotiate with yourself. Do you want another plate? Do you want a half a plate? Are you done? Like, make that decision and then move forward rather than like, plate's empty, better get a plate full now.
Yeah. Which is, you know, that is you being autonomous, making your own decisions from your personal standpoint rather than seeing a plate that's empty and going, that's my cue, that's my stimulus. Plate's empty, need more. Or from an outside source, kind of like we did at family dinners, you know. Casey needs more potatoes. Like, no, I don't.
I'm about to explode.
I would prefer no more potatoes.
I don't want potatoes.
You need more potatoes. Like,
Finish your plate. Finish your plate.
Yeah, that's a decision made from an outside source.
It was finished.
rather from a a personal position where
So
you
just
say,
stood up, went straight to the trash. I said I was done.
well, I mean, that is funny, but yeah, you should. I mean, we should have done that to send a message.
Make a point.
I told you I was done. You don't waste those. Like, I told you I was done. Fuck you. No, don't say that. Don't say that. But no, I get it.
And another thing.
And you.
I've been waiting on this.
That's it.
No, that's that's what I got planned for 23. I'd love to collaborate with anybody who has got a creative vein in their body. Like, I don't know, I want people to do good, and if I got to ride coattails, I will. I'm not too big for coattail.
There you go. Need a manager? I can make you big.
I can make it big.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That is good stuff. Well, best of luck to you in 2023.
Thank you for having me.
I hope all your dreams come true.
Thought this one was a good one.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. You know, these are always like, we talked in the before the movie Avatar the other day, all the way down. Kelsey didn't even want to interrupt. She had to text me. Then I was like, come on, you're part of the family. You can talk.
The thing is that there was like dead points in our conversation or whatever, like transitions or, seconds to where if somebody wanted to jump in.
Hey, you want to go to Chick-fil-A?
Yeah, I mean, just a quick would have been no problem.
Well, I just mean to say that we naturally do this. I always enjoy spending time with you talking, like, and then when we do a podcast, it's like they're the easiest podcast to do. I enjoy myself. I'm never worried about the time. I'm never worried about the equipment or what we're talking about. I mean, I'm just all about it. I'm just happy to spend time with you. And
it is kind of funny because if we were hanging out on your porch, we could have done that and thought nothing of it.
Right.
Yeah. But we just happened to be capturing audio and video and then post it. Like, that's about the only difference.
Yeah.
In how it works out.
Right.
Or whatever. I mean, last episode was a little different just because I had a lot to say. So that kind of took the show or whatever. But like, this interaction was much more organic and like just how we communicate or how we talk or how we think of ideas.
Yeah. All right, man. I love you. Thanks for coming on. I'm looking forward to you to come back to jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
it's
me
gonna
too.
Be fun.
Me freaking too.
Good luck with piano.
Thank you.
Everything else. And if you want to follow Casey Modern Tramp on TikTok, are you your YouTube is just Casye Seifert?
I was gonna say I would search my name before anything. That's gonna bring up like whatever you need to find.
Yeah.
But, do it if you want. There's not much like being posted. Like it's gonna be personal life stuff, Instagram, whatever. So
it'll pick up.
No pressure to follow. If you want to, go for it.
Or reach out if you have questions.
Or reach out if you want to. But search my name. Search my name before anything, and you'll find however you want to get a hold of me.
Yes, sir.
So thanks for listening. Thanks for watching.
Yes, thanks for listening.
And
thanks for watching.
Me.
Yeah, always. Always welcome. Have a great 2023. Best of luck to everyone out there with all your intentions, all your goals, everything that you've set up for yourself to accomplish. Get them done. Stay disciplined. Keep the vision. As Paul said, keep the faith. And love you all. Happy New Year. Peace.